The timing.
Oh, I've restarted that like 5 times.
What? 5 times? Only upstairs for like a minute and a half. How long was that?
About 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Didn't even stop to talk to anyone up there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 100th episode of Technical Alpha as I scroll through here and post this on Twitter.
Number
that it's happening.
100.
Number 100. We've made it. We made it this far. It's Thursday, April the 4th, 2019. Another Technical Alpha podcast. We don't have anything, special. We're not going to do handstands for you. Jeff fielded the idea of buying balloons in the shape of 100, and then we were like, wait a minute. That costs more money than the gag is actually worth, so, yay 100!
Woo!
Woo! We made it.
Woo!
Woo, baby.
We're starting it off hot.
Why are we starting it off hot?
Because we got a $27.99 super chat.
That is an oddly specific super chat. I like it.
Said, time for baby Kai stories.
Okay, you're not wrong. Hey, Jeff, how was your week?
It's been a long week, man. It's been, the weeks are going by quick.
But the days,
are going by long.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said this already on the podcast. I think I said it on my stream. Kai was having a bath, and every morning Kayla gets up. She usually brings Kai in, drops him off in the bed with me. She showers and gets ready for the day.
Yeah.
So she showers, gets ready for the day, and then puts Kai in the bath. And so Kai's sitting in his little baby tub, getting sponged down, essentially. And he ends up shitting in the tub.
Oh!
And so
fuck your tub.
Turns a little brown, right?
Of course.
And then so Kayla immediately gets him out the water, wraps him in a towel, and hands him off to me while she cleans out the tub.
Of course.
So I'm holding Kai, and I'm like, hey, Kai, how's it going, Kai? You took a little shit in the tub, did you?
Yeah,
Okay,
good boy.
yeah. All right.
You.
And then all of a sudden, he looks at me and goes, uh-oh. I said, Kai,
no. Don't do it.
He actually started making those. I was like, no, Kai, no, don't.
He's powering up.
And then he smiles, and when he smiles, it's over.
Yeah.
He was, and then it sounded like a shotgun went off, like, and just shit sharded all over the place, all on the towel, in the bed. Yeah, and I'm holding them, and I'm like, Kayla, and she's like, oh God, no, and he's shitting all over the place. So he had a shitty morning.
No kid. No. Well, and so did you.
And so did I.
By proxy, you too had a shitty morning.
Yeah. So that's one of many Kai stories in this household right now. Because all he does now is shit and cry and sleep.
It still sounds like a baby to me.
Yeah, that's all he does.
He's
and
nailing
all
it.
three are getting progressively more intense. So, like, his shits are more intense, his cries are more intense, and his sleeps are just super. Oh, you'll be holding him, and he's looking at you next to me, and I'm like, "Hey, Kai, are you alive?" Like, and sometimes he just looks dead.
He's got like narcolepsy.
He's just like
he's just awake.
That's what it is. Like, he's like awake. One time, I'm walking around the house with him in my hands. I'm like, "Yeah, how's it going?" And I look down. I do that thing where I just put my finger over his nose, see if he's breathing, because he just looks like he's done.
Sounds like he's living the dream, honestly.
He literally is living the dream.
I mean, if all you've got to do is wake up, cry until you get fed, and then literally you can care so little that you just shit on anything and everything.
0 fucks given.
You've made it.
You've made it in life.
You've made it in life.
A dream. I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great show for you, as always. It's another week.
There's actually been news this week, too.
There has been news this week. Some of it, unfortunately, is stuff that we've talked about before, but now it's in it's a different company.
Well, we don't need to
pulling
spend
it off.
that much time. It
No.
more of just kind of reinforces our points that we made before.
Yes.
Before we get started, M. Boyd with $2 and Matthew with the $2 for the super chats.
Yes.
And
bless.
shout outs to everybody that hit the like button on the last podcast.
Smashed it.
We got over 600 likes.
Let's go.
So
let's do it again.
We going for 650 this week.
I like the incremental. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And what was impressive about last week is the podcast last week didn't get as many views as the last 2 weeks on YouTube, and we still broke the likes.
That's right.
So number 100's a big one.
Big ups.
I mean, I'd love to see 1,000 likes. Be honest with you,
1,000 for the
that's no,
that's reaching.
That ain't gonna happen.
That's a 1 in 3 people hitting that like button.
No, it's not happening.
Literally unprecedented on YouTube for 1 in 3 people to go for the like button.
Yeah, it's not happening. We're going for 650.
I'm down for 650.
We're going for 650. So
I'm down for
there
650.
it is. What are we starting with?
Let's start with something nice and light, because I don't want to have the whole thing seem like it's a bad week, although it's been a little bit of a rough week news-wise in the gaming world. Let's start with something light. Cyan World's Firmament Kickstarter launched here a few days ago. And so if you guys enjoyed Abduction, if you played Abduction, or if you were a Myst fan at all in general, then you now have this coming up, Firmament. It looks really good. They're building it ground up for VR. It will, of course, be able to be played normally, but they're building it specifically with VR in mind. And if you watch some of the demos and stuff that they've had for it so far on the show floors, it looks really fucking cool. They're really getting you to to use your hands a lot in the VR and do some more specific stuff in the game, which is cool because puzzle adventure, I mean, that's like the tactile thing, right? You want to get involved with the puzzles and stuff, and it looks really good. Graphically, it looks very impressive. The budget is similar to Abduction, where they don't need like $60 bajillion.
It's like 1.something million,
1.7 or something like that. Because it's a small team, and they're getting better at these kind of lower end budget productions, and they do a great friggin' job of it. So I'll be on board with Firmament because I support damn near everything Cyan does because I love me some puzzle adventure, and they're still pretty much the only people doing it properly in my books.
Yeah, I'll probably end up supporting the Patreon if I do. I was on their Patreon account. And I watched a little video that they had on there. Yeah, as long as I get the game on release, then I'll just support the
and that's
Patreon.
Pretty much it. Yeah, waiting for it to show up on the Epic Store. 6-month exclusive.
Hey, I won't cry.
I'd be happy for them.
I'd be very happy for them.
My God.
In fact,
if you're making a game for 1.7, just get on the Epic Store.
There's probably a good chance we're going to see it on the Epic Store.
I certainly friggin' hope so.
We'll see.
I certainly hope so. So that's some light news. I'm always happy to see those guys doing well. They were at PAX East doing little bits, and they're always so excited. I mean, they've been around for a long time, and they're still fucking like super jazzed whenever somebody is excited for their game. So thumbs up to the guys at Cyan and Cyan Ventures. What else do we got? Oh, this is another quick little snippety thing. Also VR related. Remember when we were talking, I don't think it was last week, I think it was a week before, where I said No Man's Sky was slowly releasing like 4 things. Well, the big thing was VR. So it's they have VR coming, and it looks pretty fucking wild. And every journalist that has got their hands on it, because with PAX East and everything else has happened, I think they were at PAX East, but they've been having journalists come in and strap on a headset, give her a whirl. Every single journalist has been super blown away by what VR does for No Man's Sky, which I totally get, because it's an exploration game, and the aesthetic of the game and everything, and being able to fly the ship and stuff and get down to the ground and run around, it's probably pretty dope.
Yeah, that's an update that excites me.
Yeah.
Because No Man's Sky, and I think I even said this when I was originally playing it, is this would be really cool in VR. Because it's a cool concept and a cool game in and itself, but it's nothing special in its current format, especially now. Like back then, if they would have done what they said they were going to do and came out, they would have shocked the world. But now we've kind of seen a lot of the stuff that they're trying to or that they have recently implemented. So it's this. it doesn't hold that same weight, especially with the slip-ups they had before. But the VR definitely changes the whole scope of the game. Like, it makes the boring parts of the game, the repetitive parts of the game feel real. Like, it adds this even more. I feel like I'd even play it slower in VR in terms of like you take everything in more. You take it in more, and thus when you do that, the game feels grander, feels bigger, and that's what they were going for. They tried to make a big game, a small game, a big game. That's what they tried to do, and I think in VR that might actually fly. Like, that might actually fly. I do love the fact of space travel in VR, going very, very fast, seeing all the battles that are like those very repetitive, boring battles that go on.
But in VR, it will somehow look better.
It'll look better. It'll feel more intense. It'll feel more real. Because there's this disconnect when you're not in the game. And I think that the way it's designed, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm actually giving No Man's Sky a compliment right now, which is
I'm impressed right now.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. I'm surprised they didn't do this before.
Well, they probably wanted to for a while.
Yeah.
But just putting VR into a game like this is, I'm not a programmer. I'm going to say probably a bit of work.
Yes. Yeah, probably. The only downside I see to this, and it's not really a downside for the fact that they shouldn't do it. They should absolutely do this, and it sounds like they're going to, is VR. No Man's Sky is a game that you want to get immersed in and spend a lot of time in.
Yes.
And when you're in VR, they almost don't complement each other. Like, when you're in like something like Cyan's new game.
Yes.
That complements VR.
Oh, puzzle adventure is
because
like
it's a puzzle
for
adventure.
VR, yeah.
You don't have to move around too much.
Yeah.
You're focused on certain parts, and you got little bits of adventure and immersiveness, and you can take it. You can go in and go out.
It's also harder to get like motion sick and stuff when you're not doing so much of the movement.
Exactly. In No Man's Sky, there's so much going on. The colors are super vibrant. Everything is glistening and crazy. It's plus you get movement and things going all over the place, which would be cool in small dosages.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you were to really grind out some No Man's Sky isn't a game you pick up for an hour or two and play. Typically, probably the people who are playing, it's like 4+ hour sessions.
Yeah.
And to have a VR headset on for 4+ hours and in environments like that,
be rough.
Extremely rough.
So what you're saying is don't do a bag of mushrooms and then strap on a VR headset and go play No Man's Sky.
Don't do that. It'd be a bad time. It'd be a great time.
Or do it.
Or do it. One of the two. But that's the only thing I see. Holy tits, we've got $50.
$50 from Philip.
$50 super chat. Jesus.
Then he said, I want balloons.
And we got a $2 super chat from Sergio. He wants balloons.
Let's go.
Well, I don't, and you know
we
what?
don't have any for you.
I burst all the balloons that we had here from my birthday and then Kai's baby shower and stuff. Sadly, we don't have the balloons.
Rip. But yeah, VR, it's looking good. My only concern about it, even though I'm not going to be the guy playing this in VR. Obviously, I don't own a VR headset. I don't plan on owning one anytime soon. Is the interactions with menus. Menus in VR are usually what will make or break games for people outside of the motion sickness stuff, is how easy it is to navigate the UI in VR.
Yeah.
And so, especially if you're talking about a game in VR where you're not just using a controller on your lap and playing the game basically normally, but you're just strapping a screen to your eyeballs. And No Man's Sky has, if there is the biggest criticism I can give No Man's Sky, they have the shittiest UI in the history of video games.
There's menus on menus.
And if it isn't the worst, it's damn
top 3.
It's damn close
top 3
to the worst experience I've ever had in menus.
They need a Minecraft like menu, like in terms of how everything is down bottom and just in your face,
easily selectable.
Because when you're in VR, and I've noticed that every VR game that I've played, and strategically so, we didn't have menus.
Yes.
Resident Evil, there's like no menus, right? You can change your items, but you don't really go into your items list all that much, like changing weapons, and then there's hotkeys to like bring out secondary weapons and things like that. And then all the other VR games that I've played, it was more of an immersive thing, and there was a couple of buttons, and that was it.
It was like simplify the interaction with the controller,
dumb down big time,
and just blow people's minds with whatever they're seeing.
They want to spend as little as time as possible in menus, and as most time
actually
being immersed.
Yes.
When you have immersion like that, you don't want to be in menus because it takes you out of the damn game.
Exactly.
Then you're like, oh, I'm playing a video game.
It's counterproductive to the immersiveness that the VR headset's
Literally.
giving you.
Yes.
So that's my biggest concern with it. Everything else is going to be great. I mean, the visual style of the game, even though it is going to be hard on the eyes, it's going to in turn not because it's ugly, but because it's literally just a lot going on. I think that's going to be wild. I think that's going to be pretty cool for them. I think a lot of people are going to, anyone who has a VR headset's probably going to give it a spin, even if they don't own the game. This might be another thing for the market of people with VR headsets to pick it up and give it a shot. Because again, every journalist, even the ones that would like shit on them in the past, every single one of them, I haven't seen a negative comment really about
well, let's
the
be real.
VR.
No Man's Sky is essentially what a fantastic VR demo should be.
Yeah.
There's really no game in No Man's Sky from when I played it and from what I've seen even recently. Well, it's like a massive concept.
It's a survival game.
It's a survival, yeah.
Which is the same as every other survival game.
Yeah, it's
you explore.
That's it.
And you build bases and you survive.
That's it. It's like if Minecraft came in VR. If they literally made a VR Minecraft, it's the same thing. You're gonna go mining. You're gonna go into the cave and the underground mine carts, and you're gonna build these crazy concoctions.
Which sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes that's all I want to do.
That's it.
I don't want to go into a game and have to think real hard about everything.
That's why
I'm
it's
doing
perfect for VR.
and just give her a whirl.
That's why it's perfect for VR.
Exactly. So
make it.
Yeah, let's see how it all pans out when it really hits the shelves. But for now, that is coming, and props to them. I'm pretty sure their dev team right now, I want you to buckle up for this, 6 people. So if you wanted to understand the gravity of just how awesome they've been doing since the entire world wanted them to commit suicide ritualistically in public, for 6 people to produce as much free content and the expansiveness of all this content that they've put out over the last couple of years is a bit of a mind fuck to me in the first place. So I'm going to give them a little slow clap.
Hire a 7th and work on those menus.
Yeah, maybe get, it's somewhere between like 6 and 12 people. Oh. It's crazy.
Hire one more and have him or her focus on menu only.
Yeah, just hire one UI person.
That's it.
And the only UI. Yeah, and there is VR. Yes, there is VR Minecraft. Yeah.
Well, nobody plays it. I mean, I've seen VR Minecraft like 6 years ago when I've seen people.
It was like one of the first things people were like, "Give me VR Minecraft."
But I mean, like a legit Minecraft experience in VR that's catered to VR.
Yeah.
UI changing for VR, everything being for VR. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be very cool.
But we've got like the next like wave of VR headsets coming soon.
Yeah.
And so all of this stuff is landing. You're probably going to see some more VR stuff kind of cropping up as we get closer and closer to that. And things like less cables coming out the back of your head. You don't look like Neo coming up out the fucking Matrix and shit. Like
less
just trying
weight.
to, yeah, exactly, breaking your neck.
We need it to the point where they're literal glasses. You put on glasses, and that's it.
We'll be 90 years old by the time that happens.
Oh, that's what we need.
I
mean, they can be thick glasses, like make this a side stick
or a little
pack on the back of your head.
Yeah,
but that's what we need. These
getting
big
real.
fucking,
it's getting real.
They're heavy, bro.
Yeah.
Hours of that shit, you gotta have a strong neck.
If you wanted to, ever look like, a wrestler, a collegiate wrestler, but you don't want to do neck bridges because you're pretty sure you'll break your neck doing the neck bridges, just put on a VR headset for a while and give it a spin.
That's it.
That'll get you right there.
You're already there.
Go take you from that 16.5-inch neck to a 24-inch neck in no time flat. Well, now that we've gotten the good positive stuff out of the way, it's time to talk about some of the less positive stuff. Well, I guess it depends on which way you're looking at it. Let's start with this week in games that hit Epic Launcher. I think it was literally last week where we discussed the idea that wait until these people see a AAA title that everyone sees.
I said it's coming.
I
said within 6 months, and then
next week.
Yeah, you said I think it's gonna be sooner than that. You said something like that.
And
here we are a week later. Boom.
7 days pass.
Get fucked.
Borderlands 3.
That's big.
That is a big-ass title to be landing there. And you know what? It's not even a full year exclusive.
6 months.
6 months. Okay. And the world fucking blew up. Like, my timeline...
Oh, yeah, bro.
Until the BioWare thing came up, which we'll talk about next, my timeline was nothing but Borderlands 3,
Yeah.
Epic Store, just plastered with it.
I even went on Steam because people were like, "Oh, there's a new HD version of Borderlands 2 that came out."
Yeah,
you should
we
play
talked
that.
about that where they updated the games.
I went over there, and on Steam, there's a massive surge of negative reviews.
Are they doing review bombing?
Just
my
a
God.
massive surge of negative reviews now. Just salty as fuck.
Come on, man.
Yeah. I had a guy come into my stream, and he was being serious. He said, "Man, I was so looking forward to Borderlands 3 until until they just announced it on Epic Shit Launcher."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh man,
That's gonna be a rough 6 months for you. I'm sure you're gonna really suffer for it.
suffer hard."
It's gonna be bad. You know what? That guy, he's buying it on the Epic launcher.
He's already got it pre-ordered. He's fucking ready.
Bro, how many times have gamers gone to like Reddit and shit and just read over all this shit and saying boycott this book? Ain't nobody do it.
No.
There's like 4 people out of every 10,000 that say that they're gonna fucking do that shit, and they all fold and they all buy it.
Yep.
And they do it, and it's where we're at. So they're all gonna still buy it. So I don't know what they're on about. It's fun.
I love it.
Dude.
It's good. It's great. It's wonderful. I love it. I love the fact that Steam's getting punished a little bit right now. I mean, by no means are they hurting, but it is nice. It's going to light a fire under Steam's ass. They're going to have to start, like we said before, offering publishers more, taking less of a cut, doing more for people, and maybe even getting rid of some of the shovelware shit on their platform and start focusing down.
No, that's not going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
It's not going to happen.
But that's great news for Epic. Epic just needs to keep, every time there's a new launch, Epic just needs to snap it the fuck up. And what's so great is they own the Unreal Engine. So almost every fucking reputable game known to man is built on that. A lot of them are built on that engine,
and they're providing an extra discount.
Yes,
on royalties for
people that are using it. Yes,
so you're getting
double dipping
super low.
Yeah,
which is huge for fucking developers and publishers.
It's massive. It's massive.
Because people say, oh, well, the developer's not really seeing all this because it's the publishers making the decisions whether it's going to be on there or not. Okay, well, it's also the publishers deciding whether or not the developers make the games that you fucking play.
Yep.
So if the publishers are getting a better cut, guess what? Better odds that you're getting a game that you may or may not want to play.
Exactly. And what's also very telling about this, which I think people need to realize if they haven't already, the fact that they're giving these discounts and the fact that these publishers are taking it, what does that tell you about how big Epic is and how big their launcher already is? Because Borderlands and whatever other games come out, the AAA titles, they're not going to go to Epic, even at a huge discount, if they didn't feel like they were still going to sell millions and millions of copies.
Yes.
So the fact that they have that pull, that they have some serious numbers already, is already proof in the pudding that this Epic launcher is not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's only going to get bigger, and it's going to become the new norm. What most people are saying right now that are upset is it's a privacy issue thing, which we've already debunked before, and it's also it's not in my Steam list, but you can add the game onto your Steam profile so that you can still see the game from via Steam.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's the fact that they have to put their information on the Epic. So here's the hierarchy. What generally happens when we have a conversation. And the danger about having this is that there's such a wide variance of where people fall on this that when we have a discussion like this, every one of them feel like we're talking directly about them. I want to make sure that everyone understands this right now before you try and crucify us or other people that don't just say, fuck Epic, okay? We're talking about people. We're not saying that you're not allowed to be upset if something isn't going the way that you want it to go. That's fine. But we're talking about people that are saying, oh, was looking forward to the game, but now I'm just not going to buy it ever because they went to Epic. Or another thing I'm seeing increasing is, oh, Shane, that happened, going to have to pirate it now. or people that are going on and they're sending death threats,
Pirated
or
from where?
Pirating the games.
Yeah, but okay, but here's the thing. If you've got a problem with it being on the Epic launcher,
yes,
and your problem is maybe it's not safe or whatever, instead I'm going to pirate the game.
Dude, don't bring logic into here.
On some random ass.
Stop.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. That's the follow-up.
Okay.
Okay? Tencent, 40% stake in Epic Games. So it's spyware now. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to, if you are concerned about that, is I want you to never play a game. I want you to never use any software, any hardware, anything, minimum, just on this short list. This is short. This isn't everything, but just a short taste, okay? I want you to never touch anything from Grinding Gears games, nothing from Miniclip, nothing from Riot Games, nothing from, again, Epic, nothing from Activision Blizzard, nothing from Ubisoft, and nothing from Supercell. Just that's a short list. I want you to look at all the stuff that you may or may not play. Well, I also want them, if possible, to throw this in the garbage.
Just get rid of it.
I want them to first pass over a rare earth magnet 48 or 49 times to fuck everything inside of it. Hit it with a sledgehammer.
But I can't play Blizzard games if I don't have a phone, Adam.
Burn it, and if you have a Nokia, well, you're going to have to launch it into the sun. But for everyone else, the aforementioned steps will be just fine. Get rid of your cell phone entirely. I want you to then go out of your way to run all of your network at home on your own hardware, to put it behind your own firewall. I want you to run a VPN on a VPN. I want you to never not be on a proxy. And then on top of that, I want you to use only obfuscated platforms on that VPN. Taking it a step further, I want you to use a fake name, birthday, address, and everything for every account that you ever use online, and only give it to a select few people who want anything to do with you on a daily basis. Furthermore, I want you to open your wallet right now and take out every piece of plastic that has an NFC chip on it. And I want you to cut it up with scissors. And then when you go to the grocery store, whatever you want to use it, you just memorize up here your number. And you give it to them off the bean every time. So that there's no chance that somebody walking around swipes off on your NFC chips in your wallet. Because it's a chance, Jeff. You never know when it can happen.
But you forgot the most important part.
It'd come for you.
The most important part, what you have to do after you're done all of those things to make sure that you're safe. I want you to go and take a fucking tampon and stick it up your pansy ass.
Here we follow up. This is part 3. I'm glad you mentioned it, Given Up 24. I like the name. It's good. It's what you should be doing right now. I feel like Jeff and Adam are missing the point that people hate Epic because they are, like I said, paying publishers to be on their launcher. You can hate Steam all you want, but they never did that. Let's break that down, shall we? Let's break it down. Because I was going to do it anyway, but let's do it with that as a highlight.
Go for it, Adam.
All right. Step 1. Steam was borderline first to market when they came out with their platform. There wasn't really anyone else doing it to any major degree.
No.
PC gaming was minuscule in comparison to the size of the market that it is today. As such, they didn't have to do really dick. And in fact, they didn't. And for a long time, Steam did a series of horrible moves that a lot of people either are too young to remember or they're forgetting entirely. And if you want to, just go read up on... I'm not going to sit here and give you the history of Steam.
No, we ain't got that much time.
Go do some light reading if you're bored. Having a long, lengthy, painful shit, read about Steam for a bit. There was no need for them to do that. And by the time the market had gotten to a size in which it would be necessary for them to do that with competitors, they were already at critical mass to the point where entering the market, if you know anything about business at all, entering the market nigh on impossible without huge sums of money to break in.
It's like that in almost any market.
That's literally any market.
Takes money.
And so as soon as that happened, somebody usually says something like, what about good old games? What about good old games? They're not a competitor to Steam.
No.
And they're financially on shaky ground right now.
Yeah.
They're hoping they're on a hope and a prayer with the Warcraft 1 and 2 release they just put out. Please give me some more money. Please come to GOG. Please do it. So Steam never did it because they never had to. They were there before it was a necessity. And now here we are. If you're wondering why console manufacturers also do that same thing and have been literally since the dawn of more than one console being on the market, there are exclusive titles.
Yes.
To entice customers.
Yes.
To use their platform.
Yes, except that theirs costs money.
$400 to $500.
This is free. Adam.
Nobody before Epic has had the monetary cojones, the weight in their testicles. And I'm saying that metaphorically, I'm not being sexist. It's just a saying. To try and go up against Steam.
It took the creation of Fortnite and the money that thing generated, and the traffic that thing generated, and the tens of millions of people that log in on a daily basis on that launcher before somebody at Epic decided to go, you know what? I think we can do this. There's nothing wrong with competition. I don't even like Fortnite. I don't even use the Epic launcher.
Dude.
I will if I buy Borderlands 3.
And here we go. So once again, let's take a look at this right now. Is that the market is fucking weird right now. You've got a bunch of people who want to support developers and get them the best possible chance at continuing to make games, which unfortunately requires, for the vast majority of them who aren't self-publishing, publishers to give a fuck about what they're doing. When Epic comes around and gives such a deep fucking discount for a 6, and then on top of that gives exclusivity money for 6 months to a year, publishers are going to fucking eat that up. And even if the developers don't directly see that money, what it does is, like I said before, it says, all right, we can do this again. Especially if it sells relatively well. We can definitely do this again. Whereas before, maybe it doesn't happen that way.
No.
People don't want a monopoly. And have called monopolistic situations for Steam forever and a day. But now that Epic is coming around and it's not exactly the competition that people want, Steam is apparently not a monopoly anymore. Because it doesn't fit their fucking narrative. And so they have to just rely on the fact that it's, oh, well, it would be true competition, Adam. True competition. If Epic wasn't doing exclusives and they were just competing with Steam on features of their launcher.
Suck my ballsack. Suck it raw, suck it long, suck it hard. How can you expect Epic to come out and not offer publishers any discount or less profit takings or profit sharing than Steam or any type of major exclusivity deals for short periods of time, not even indefinitely, but for 6 months, a year, and compete with Steam? How do you do it?
You don't.
You don't, obviously. Are you fucking stupid? Or you just want to burn whatever capital you had and just throw it to the fire?
It's like they think that if Epic comes out and goes, hey guys, we've got a friends list too. Oh, and by the way, we've got achievements and a place that you can buy and trade digital goods on your games. And we're going to put hats in all of our games too, so that you can continue to have the features of Steam that you know and love. Come on over to the Epic launcher. That suddenly people are just gonna fucking go there in droves?
No. No. Absolutely not.
You know how they do it? They get fucking exclusives, and then they hope that the people at some point have a brain to think to themselves that if self-publishing indie developers and other developers underneath major publishers that are seeking a thing called money, and if you haven't been following, and again, we're going to get into this with the BioWare fucking shit that's happened, that the game market has been, and for a long time, broken from a financial perspective. Go back to fucking playing Pong or some shit. I don't fucking care. You can play Tetris on a fucking t-shirt these days. Go buy that and hang out and look down at your fucking small dick. I do it on occasion. Just fucking stop.
I know. I yelled a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. I yelled about this. It's fucking stupid. It's a fucking stupid ass It's not even an argument, bro.
And what happens is when you get involved in these discussions, and they usually go, well, it's spyware.
Bring him on the show.
Well, no. It's
Come on the show and fucking debate it, bitch.
It's spyware, right?
I ain't
you don't
worried.
need to, because I've already done it. It's spyware. So then you go, are you using a Google account or Amazon? Do you remember that time that Amazon knew about that chick being pregnant before she did?
Yeah.
That's because they know everything about you.
Adam, the reality is they're not concerned about any of that. They only care that it's not on Steam.
Yes,
And they
exactly.
can't keep using the same shit they're
That's
used
it.
to using.
But they don't wanna-
That's it. They don't want to admit it.
They don't want to admit that.
It's gonna be something else. It's gonna be some other fucking problem. It's like a lazy cuck fuck that
Yes.
won't go get a job, and he's making an excuse.
Yes.
Well, fuck.
Yes.
I'm just tired. I can't, like, every time I stand up, it hurts. It's too fucking sunny outside, and then it's not sunny. Well, it's too fucking rainy. The clouds are too gray. Fuck. It's hard to breathe in the air of an office. I just don't want to. Fuck, no!
Fluorescent tubes give me headaches.
You're just fucking lazy!
Karen took my pen for the 4th time this week.
Jesus Christ! Just say it what it is! Say it! You're a Steam fanboy! You don't like change! You fucking hate the fact that shit is changing! Just admit it, you cocksucker!
You're lazy!
Yes!
You don't
want
wanna
to
open
download
another
another fucking program!
Yes!
And it's free, you cunt!
Just accept it!
Fuck me!
Own it that you're a lazy fuck! Own it! It's not about your credit card safety. Fuck yourself! Are you serious?
No, they're not. They're not. I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
Fuck!
I know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's sad. It's crazy. And you know what? This isn't even gonna. I can guarantee it. This isn't even going to affect how well Borderlands does. Borderlands is gonna sell like a motherfucker right now. We talked about this. This is just good press for Borderlands.
Yes!
Because more people are hearing about
talking
this thing,
about it
talking
anyway.
about this shit. And then in 6 months after it's done launching on Epic, it's gonna be like another soft launch of it going on Steam, and they're gonna get another huge wave of sales. It's a win-win-win-win-win for the Borderlands team, and it's a fucking win for you and I, because I get to watch the cuck boys cry about this when there's nothing to cry about.
I just don't get it, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it makes me feel bad for the developers, because so many people are still blaming developers when it's the publisher making the call.
Yes.
Randy Pitchford comes out and goes, hey guys, just want to remind you, the publisher made this decision.
I don't make these decisions.
But then he also went on to say, you know what? I actually think this is perfectly fine, especially if the exclusivity would be, say, 6 months to a year. Because you know what? It makes sense.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it does.
Oh my God.
So there it is.
So there's your this week in that. Oh, I also wanted to mention just briefly that it looks like, but nobody's certain yet, that there might be some sort of loot boxy thing in Borderlands 3. They should probably not do that, but we don't have any announcement about it yet. It's all speculation. And then the other thing that some people are whining about is if you pre-order, you get some items that give you like faster experience growth and better loot drops, which I think they even had in Borderlands 2. And honestly, who fucking
Isn't it a single player experience?
Who fucking cares? Well, you can get four, three friends with you for 4 people.
Well, who gives a shit? You know what? If you
ain't changing
if you
motherfuckers
want to spend $100 on a fucking game genie
go do
that
it.
makes you invincible
Do it.
and gives you the biggest, fastest guns in the first 5 minutes,
let's fucking go.
whatever floats
Just
your
go.
fucking boat.
It's not a competitive multiplayer
It doesn't
game.
affect my motherfucking
No.
gaming experience. If you're dumb enough to buy a game and be able so that you're invincible and you've got a dick bigger than Mandingo and you're going to spend $100 for it,
Do
then
it.
do it. Whatever makes you happy, it's your
Who
money.
cares? It's not like this
It's
is
not
a
an online
competitive
multiplayer
No.
game. This
It's
isn't
not-
fucking Apex.
It's not changing anyone's life except for the person spending the fucking money to make it happen.
Oh my God. I don't like the way you're living your life, Adam.
Well, fuck. I just want to make you happy. I just want to make you proud. I won't buy it. I'll grind like everyone else, Jeff. I'll do it. BioWare.
Hit that like button.
BioWare, next on the list of major developers who are running their employees literally into the ground, short of death, in the worst ways possible, resulting in AAA titles that are more like D-list actors in Hollywood. Of course, we speak of Anthem. And for all of its glitz and glam for how good it looks, it's a pretty shallow experience that has done nothing for pretty much anyone. And just like in the past, one of the, if not only good writers that Kotaku actually employs. His name is Jason Schreier. I think is how you pronounce that last name. I've seen his stuff in the past. One of the few good writers out there, especially when he does these kind of things, interviews and almost like an expose type stuff. Is outlining what went wrong with Anthem. So the long short of it is that just kind of like what we saw with Rockstar with crazy crunch times and burnout like mad, was that what's his name, Soderlund or whatever, the head of EA, really stuck his dick where it didn't belong about 1,000 times over. And what it resulted in from top down was that there was no direction. This game was in development for like 6 or 7 years, and the only real, honest-to-God production happened in the last 18 months, with the bulk of it being the last year before launch. On a 7-year dream, bro. Can you imagine, as an employee, being involved in a project so heavily for 7 years, and then basically resetting the fucking clock once every 9 months for 7 years, and then sprinting on zero energy and nubs for legs to the finish line, face planting over the finish line, and then, of course, when it gets released, everyone goes, fuck you for releasing this shit video game, not knowing why it was shit in the first place.
It's rough.
Can you, like, I would want to kill myself. Like, I just, like, how much does that, 7 years, Jeff? That is as long,
It's our
basically,
career.
as our career.
Yes.
So imagine us putting all of this time and effort in, and then it amounts to literally nothing. No success, no nothing, and then on top of that, a bunch of people just shit on you, and then try and dismantle your entire fucking work.
It's a bad feeling.
That's garbage.
It's horrible.
And so Sutherland comes down and says, when the game first of all, it was a different name entirely. I can't remember what the name of the game was supposed to be, but they ended up not being able to secure rights to the game. So like last minute change to Anthem, which made no sense to anyone, and for good reason, because it didn't actually tie into anything story-wise that the game had whatsoever. It was just one of their backup names when they couldn't get the other name.
What a gong show.
They literally, when I said reset the clock, they would I mean, from the narrative to how the gameplay was coming along, they would do a bunch, they'd send it out, they'd get shot down, they'd be swapping employees out, new writers, new fucking whatever, start over. Here we go again. Nope, not good enough. Start over. Go again. Nope, not good enough. Start over. And then at one point, flying wasn't even in the game. And then they kind of worked it in last second before sending it over to Sutherland again, going into E3 where we saw that trailer with the flying down from like the top and everyone was like, oh, that is exactly
like
what they
Apex.
showed to him. Yeah, exactly what they showed to him. And he was like, this is it. This is the game I've been waiting for. And so basically from that point was where they had most of that was faked, that whole thing, like most E3 demos, right? They didn't really have a single mission written, anything done, nothing from that point, from that E3. So from that E3 video that we saw, the employees went full tilt until release, still asked for or needed like 3 more months, but EA demanded it was released within their fiscal year end, which was March, so they had to release February. So they had no choice. The game comes out in the state that it is.
Hot mess.
To make it worse is that this was also under the direction where they have... So BioWare has, I think, 3 studios in total, but the 2 main ones are Vancouver, which is the original BioWare headquarters, and then they have one down in the States. Can't remember which state it is off the top of my head. And then they have one more. And the one in the States is the one that did the Old Republic MMO. So they had experience with an online multiplayer game that never got fucking used. Every time they were like, hey, we no. and we got to the point where it was all under this initiative where all of the BioWare studios were supposed to work together and not on separate games anymore. So once Andromeda was finished, they brought everyone into the fold. And all of those different divisions were just fucking button heads. And apparently, I don't know if you would have saw this at any point or heard it at any point, but people were calling the Andromeda team like the fucking... Oh, I think the Andromeda team's in Montreal or some shit like that. They're calling them like the B team or the C team for BioWare. And the ranking order was Vancouver, the one in the States, and then the one that did Andromeda was dead last. But apparently... That's actually internally also how they kind of were seen. And so there was like this
hierarchy.
The hierarchy on top of it. And
you
so
on
you
the
can
C
imagine.
team, bitches.
And everyone's on edge because the shit's been re-rolled 1,000 fucking times and deadlines are coming and everyone's losing their minds. They lost a whack of high-level employees. And then they lost a whack of employees that have been there at the company forever and ever and ever, like, artists, etc., that just straight up fucking left.
I'm done.
There are some that went on like leave and never really managed to get back because they were so fucked. Like this whole process for Anthem, going from Andromeda straight into Anthem just fucked everything. It was a gong show from beginning to end. It's a miracle the game came out looking and playing as it did. And when they had the pre-launch test done to see how it was going to likely end up in the market, the testers were like, this is probably going to be, if you get a little bit of polish, you're in the 70s on Metacritic is what we're guessing this is going to be. That didn't happen.
No.
Like a 50s somewhere.
They died on arrival.
It was bad.
Horrible.
Like real bad.
For a game this hype?
So it was crazy. But this is to the point we were just talking about with Epic and stuff when it comes to time and money and how broken the game development cycle is right now. This is like the 3rd time in the last 2 years that we've seen major publishers have this happen to their employees or with games.
Yeah.
And when is it going to fucking end?
Well, the games, I was talking about this on my stream yesterday, and I was saying that these developers, the publishers they're getting fucked right now. They're getting fucked because the gaming market is in a weird place where everything is free to play, or at least everything's expected to be free to play. We're in this battle royale. We went from MOBAs to battle royales essentially.
Yeah.
So you go from one free to play market to the other. A lot of these developers try to develop MOBAs Some of them, a lot of them failed. Some of them were like, and
Made
then
their
failed.
money back
Made
and
their
then
money
failed.
and then failed.
Yeah.
And then now we're sort of the same place with the battle royales. You take a look, and is it the quality of games these days? I'm not quite so sure, because a game like Anthem, or a game like Battlefield, or a game like what other games come out recently that hadn't done well but aren't terrible games? You know,
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them. Yeah, exactly. So, and I think a lot of this is it's the market right now, and unfortunately, these developers they're old school, right? There's enough new school there, but they're still old school. So they think that their old ways are going to continue to work, and the market is saying they're not. We're seeing what's happening not only with Blizzard, Activision. I have never seen a juggernaut like Blizzard take such a massive fall in the run of the last 18 months. It's scary. Like, their games, not only of the quality of their updates and stuff, are just come off lazy and complacent and almost like a fuck you to the fans. Like, almost like a, we don't give a fuck what you think. We're going to keep doing what we do because we're this huge juggernaut. We're seeing it with Blizzard. We see it with EA. We're seeing it with Bethesda. I mean, we're seeing it with...
Oh, we get to talk about Bethesda after this one.
We're seeing it with them all, bro.
Yeah.
We're seeing it with them all.
Yeah.
The ones that are doing well are the ones... There are a couple, like Rockstar, still doing very, very well.
Yep.
I mean, they're doing their thing, you know, hats off to them. And
they're also burning their employees out like crazy.
Oh, fucking right they are.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then you've got the guys over at Apex. They've done something special.
Yep.
Epic, obviously, they're changing the game completely, literally, and they're pissing people off in the process.
Exactly.
They're disrupting the entire market, not only game wise, but also launcher wise, and how games are being developed. So, I think what it is, Adam, is they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to adapt to where games are today. And I think a lot of them are going to just keep doing what they're doing until the market comes back to like full circle to where they're in demand now of these games. And it's scary enough is I think we're starting to come around to that now. I think people are starting to want more single player experiences again. I think people are getting burnt out of their battle royales, of their MOBAs and all this other stuff, because we're starting to see the come around again, and people are getting excited for single player games. It just so happens that a lot of these AAA publishers now are now trying to produce what people are now getting sick of, and by the time the games come out, people are already like, we don't want this shit anymore, and they're just not doing well. Anthem is basically Destiny. That's what it is, man. It's a
And here's something fun. Okay, so internally when the game was being developed, nobody was allowed to talk about or make comparisons to Destiny. And so what ends up happening there is
Heroes of the Storm. Is
the development.
It's a brawler. It's not a MOBA.
But they weren't able to learn from everything that Destiny had learned over the course of their development because they weren't allowed to make comparisons or to even talk about Destiny internally during the production of Anthem.
It's Destiny, man. It's a shittier version of Destiny. That's what it is. And if you're coming out in 2019, it better be a way better version of Destiny. It better be everything that Destiny isn't, but all the stuff that Destiny is, but better. And then adding to the stuff that they wish you could get. And that's pretty much what Apex did in the Battle Royale sector. They took everything that was great about all the other Battle Royales, and then they kind of commingled it all together into one cohesive game with hackers. But the fundamentals are there, and that's what made them great. That's what makes them. It's not another Fortnite clone or another PUBG clone. We've already got those games. We've already got a Destiny. You know, so that's where games are right now. I'm happy. I know I'm cynical about it, but I'm happy to see these developers just fucking shit the goddamn bed. I feel bad for the people working there, because those
Yeah.
are hard-working people. Their
There's,
dream is to
like,
make video games. They go to
there's
school. They do
always-
all this stuff.
There's always, like, in life, there's always a generation that ends up having to be the one that takes the fall
Yes.
for the generation that comes after them. And we are unfortunately seeing
This is it.
the generation
Look
right
how many
now.
people have been fired or let go from developing games over the
Yeah.
last 2 years.
Not even
And
in
it's-
the last year,
in-
because as soon as one company does it, everyone does it to reduce the
Exactly,
bad PR.
because they're doing it, and they're a bigger company. They've got the headlines. We
Yeah.
can just sweep it under the rug.
people forget about it faster.
And the reason why it's not because video game industry is getting smaller.
No.
It's getting bigger.
yeah.
It just means your games are not you're not doing a good job at producing what people want. And you're rushing shit out, and you're still, it's just a fucking mess,
Well,
man.
even Anthem, I mean, that's and therein lies some of the problem. Anthem wasn't even rushed out; it was a 7-year development.
It was
But they only-
rushed. It was rushed to get out.
Yes.
But it wasn't rushed in the development. They just didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
And it's another example in this case. It's another example of EA getting. Whenever EA gets involved with their developers, the game dies.
Yes.
It burns up in orbit
Yes.
before it even hits Earth. It's already dead.
EA is worried about the shareholders.
Sutherland
and they
is fucking everything up. The only game that EA is attributed to recently that has success is ironically the one that they had no hand in.
I know. It's crazy, huh?
That should tell Patrick
Yes.
to get his hands
Yes.
out of the cookie jar
Yes.
and worry about being a fuck boy on the E3 stage, just telling sweet little lies like Todd Howard. That's all he has to do. And then leave the developers to do their jobs. Because you obviously don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
If you don't have trust in the people that are making your games, then fire them and hire people that you trust to do the shit right. Know your role, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. So there it is with them. Not a huge surprise. It's
No.
it's a fail. It's a fail.
I feel horrible for the developing, like
God,
the people in the
yeah, it's
development
terrible.
within BioWare across the board. It's nobody's fault below the management. It was
it's
a
a man-
top-down
it's a
problem.
management issue.
100%.
It's a management issue.
And now, unfortunately, they've lost a lot of their key players.
Good.
From every position imaginable.
Good.
Some of them have already gone off to make up. I can't remember the name of the company. New company just announced they're making their first game. So they're off doing their thing. Fucking let's go. Put it on the Epic launcher.
I was just about to say, put on the goddamn Epic launcher and make as much money as you can and make great games.
Do it. Make good fucking video games. So to your point about where things are, here's how I see it. Is that I think we have to be getting to a point where we've reached critical mass for how bombastic games can be. The scope of games, I think I've said this on the podcast a million times now, scope of games gotten too fucking big. And what it results in is you get these games as a service type deal where a major developer will release a game that is 1/10 of a fucking video game, and then you pay $60 for it, and then or $80 in Canada, and then you over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, you get the remaining percentage of that game that should have been all
Yes.
there in one go.
Yes.
And instead of the $60 or $80, you spend $120 to $160
Yes.
by the end of it, which for them means they can make more money and reuse assets and make that all work from a financial perspective. All because the scope of the game otherwise would be too big for them to go away and do all of it at once, release it, and shebang. It's too risky, too expensive.
Yep.
So I think games need to fucking
Bring it down. Unless you're Rockstar.
bring it back in a bit.
Unless you're Rockstar and you know what the fuck
But
you're
even
doing.
they need to, because they're going to kill their employees.
Yeah,
They
yes,
al- we
no,
already
that's
had
true.
the- like, they
that
need
is
to,
true. Yeah. They need to
fucking
pipe
reel
it down.
that bad boy in a bit.
But I'm
right?
with you. I'm with you. The games just need to get a little bit more concise, a little bit more focused.
Because it's getting too
They're
expensive.
and they're just doing too much.
Too complicated to do.
They're just doing
bring-
too much.
Just
man.
bring it back.
Whatever happened to just good storytelling? You know, that's like when Naughty Dog game comes out, you're just enjoying a game.
Yeah.
There isn't this.
Because what happens when you have a game like Anthem, right, which is a beautiful looking game, is that that's only impressive for the first 2 hours that you play it.
Yep.
and then nobody's really paying that close attention.
You get desensitized
anymore.
to the beauty. It's just
at that point, what matters? Am I having fun with this video game? That's all that matters. Now, if the visual, from an artistic perspective, is integral to the storytelling that you're having, that doesn't even necessarily mean that the fidelity of the graphics have to be fucking through the roof and super hyper realistic.
No.
It just means that it has to fit with what you're doing.
Adam, it's a relationship.
That's all it is.
It's a relationship. If you're with a woman, and she's a beautiful woman, and you're like, man, I was at a bar, I met this chick, man, she is hot as fuck. You take her home, you have a good time, you do this for all week. Go 3 times in the run of a week. At the end of the day, when you wake up in the morning and after the fun is kind of seeped through, you've nutted several times now, she's beautiful, that's great, but do you like her? Do you like waking up next to her? Can you talk to her?
You thought with your dick.
Does she have bad breath?
Probably. Not worse than mine, though.
Can you literally just sit and enjoy their company? Because it's a grind. It's gonna be the long
You're
stretch
in for the
here.
long haul.
It's the same as a video game. These types of video games. Oh, sure, I can bust a nut and have a good time and tell you how beautiful looking and shit you are. I'm gonna use you for a little bit.
I only need 45 seconds for that.
That's it. But eventually, that's all going to come down and reality is going to sink in.
Eventually, you're 60.
Yes.
And you're not as attractive anymore, so you can't really go for that.
No.
Not everyone is Helen Mirren.
Can I listen to her voice?
Yes.
Is it going to drive me crazy?
Yeah.
And if the answer is, well, I don't know, your game probably isn't very good. And it most certainly isn't very good on a 10-year development commitment.
No.
And yearly seasonal passes that's costing me money. Bitch, I already spent the goddamn money on the first few dates. I ain't trying to spend $80 every 6 months for the same play that I'd gotten before. I'd rather taste something that's not as attractive, that's a better damn time. That I can play for years on end and not get sick of it. Like a good sushi meal. I'm not trying to eat lobster every night. I love me some lobster. But I'm telling you right now, you eat enough of that shit.
You don't want lobster anymore.
You don't want lobster anymore.
Probably go for your bank account if you didn't.
And that. Same with the games.
Yes.
It's good for my bank account. Give me one fucking game that's 40 hours long. That's a great time. Give me a game that's 12 hours long. That's a great time.
Give me a game that's fucking 6 hours long. Just make it a good game.
Please. Please.
And this is why I like Epic's whole thing, right? Is that when you get such a deep discount, especially if you use the Unreal Engine, which is already a solid, flexible engine to begin with, sure shit better than the fucking EA Frostbite fuck show that he's pushed on every single fucking studio to make every single game that it has no right.
No.
It allows for a chance that developers, still on the bigger side of development, can perhaps consider self-publishing.
Yes.
And that gets the Sutherlands the fuck out of your hair and out of your pants.
And watch how good games start to become again.
And then watch what fucking happens.
Just watch.
Let the developers do what they're good at.
Develop.
Make video games. Worry about the business side, right? Sutherland should be worried about the fact that he's done a shit job and now FIFA's the only thing propping up the entire fucking company. And some people would say, well, they're never going to go back to it because they can't make the money. Well, that's just it. If developers, there's going to be a generation where this collapses. It's too big. They're too fucking big. They can't support their own weight. But just as a side note to that BioWare thing, just because I've reminded myself when I was saying that last bit, is that they had a very similar situation with Dragon Age Inquisition, which was, I believe, the first game that BioWare was forced to use the Frostbite engine to create. And Frostbite had literally 0 systems in place to make something like Dragon Age Inquisition. It was made for first-person shooters, not third-person
RPGs.
there wasn't even a save system implemented. They had to build so much from scratch just because they were forced to use Frostbite.
Gong show.
Ironically, probably losing them more money than if they had just
stuck with the original.
Gotten a different engine that was suited for the fucking task. Imagine spending all those years and how hard it is to make games as it is, and then do it with an engine that's fighting you every fucking step of the way because you're doing shit that isn't.
We'll figure it out, Adam. They'll figure it out.
It's fine. Go figure it out.
Go figure
That's
it
your
out.
job.
Yeah.
Go do it.
We've got 18 months.
And so a lot of employees were apparently kind of low-key hoping that Dragon Age Inquisition wouldn't be successful because it was rushed quite substantially because of the engine problems. It's just so happens that at that time, BioWare still had all of their gods, and they pulled it the fuck off and released a game that did extraordinarily well, and they were all happy about it, but at the same time they went, fuck, because now they're going to think that this is okay.
Set a precedent here.
Yeah.
This is going to be the new norm.
Precedent has been set, and now all of a sudden, we're fucked.
Rip.
And now here we are with Anthem, and now Anthem is the one that's taking it. Now Anthem's the 55 Metacritic shit show.
Get fucked. What's next? Fuck Anthem.
Todd Howard.
It's going to be one of these podcasts, bro. Come on, bro.
Well, that's why I got the happy stuff. Maybe I should have sprinkled the happy in between.
Should have sprinkled.
Maybe. I'll save that thought for next time. But hey, more Cyan World games coming. Buckle up for that. They're self-publishing because they're doing it through Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They know what's up.
They know what the fuck is up.
They know what's up.
I can guarantee their game won't suck either.
Exactly. On 1.7 million.
Yeah, exactly.
So, something that actually did surprise me, but at the same time, maybe it doesn't surprise me. Jeff, if I said to you that at E3, only a couple months away, we were not going to see or hear in any capacity anything about Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6, would that shock you?
You know what? A year ago, I would have said yes. Now, I'm just going to say, no, it doesn't shock me, Adam. It doesn't shock me. It just pisses me off. That's what it does. Then why are you even there? Why are you even there? Are you here to sell us another fucking Skyrim?
Well, that's my question is, what are they going to show at
Skyrim?
At E3?
Skyrim.
Do they have another Wolfenstein thing?
Skyrim. That's what we're going to get.
No.
More fucking
I know, don't.
Skyrim.
No.
Free to play now.
No, don't.
More Skyrim.
Dude, this is the 20th, 25th anniversary of the Elder Scrolls franchise.
And they're not even announcing their
We're not getting anything about Elder Scrolls 6. We're not getting anything about anything. It's just all they got for Elder Scrolls that when they announced that they weren't going to say anything at E3 was they showed a little mini snippets.
What's the over-under of this, Adam? What's the over-under of the fact that they shit the bed so fucking hard with Fallout? I mean, dumped all over Fallout 76.
Yeah.
What's the over-under of their fucking announcement they did last year? That it was a Hail Mary, that it was like, we are fucked right now. We don't actually have a goddamn game. And this was an idea. This hasn't been in development. Make us a 15-second snippet, and here it is, guys. Get excited about something. What's the over-under of that? That they don't actually have a game, Adam.
Let me answer that with this. Todd Howard thought that Fallout 76 was a success, and he had talked about that in a roundtable just recently, boasting about the millions of players and the fact that it was a success aside from a couple of bugs. There's your answer. To follow that up more, Elder Scrolls 6 is technically in some sort of development, enough that they showed micro snippets about the fact that they're upgrading how they're doing texture work and modeling with what's the technical term for it? Grammatry? I actually don't know how to fucking pronounce it. It's basically you go out and you take pictures of shit and then you map that shit directly into the fucking engine. So it's their way of... Yay. Oh, also to get some good PR. You know, we've probably... I don't know if we ever talked about it on the podcast before, but you ever hear about Skyrim Grandma on YouTube?
I have. Yes.
Okay.
She's in the game.
She's in the game now.
Yes,
they mapped her in. She's going to be a character.
Congratulations, Nanny.
Todd Howard just patting himself on the back for that softball of a PR move. The irony being, Skyrim Grandma going to be dead before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Yes.
This will be basically her in, the afterlife.
Yes.
She might as well be in an ancestral tomb in Morrowind as a
I wonder
ghost.
if they paid her for this.
Probably not.
Todd Howard.
But if they did,
cool.
Great. Awesome. I don't know. But Todd Howard thought that Fallout 76 was a success, and that alone should scare the fuck out of you. The fact that we're not hearing anything about Elder Scrolls 6, or more specifically Starfield. Starfield surprises me more than Elder Scrolls 6, I should say. Because Elder Scrolls 6 we know was already going to come out after Starfield anyway. So we knew that there was a game in the queue ahead of that. But the fact that we're not seeing anything about Starfield, that fucking weirds me out. Because we know they're using the same engine.
I think that's why.
Again,
I think that's why we ain't seeing it. I think that's why is because I think they're just scared. People are just gonna be like, "Fuck you, man." Just like fuck this game because I don't care. I don't give a fuck. He can say whatever he wants to say. Fallout 76 was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster of a game. It looked like a steaming pile of ass. It played like ass. Every streamer I've seen that streamed that game did nothing but shit on it. There's endless amounts of clips of people just shitting all over that game and how broken and bad it is. Hell, when they even got Ninja to they paid Ninja to play that game with fucking Rick and Morty, that was the most awkward, painful shit I have ever seen on Twitch. That is some next level cringe, bro. Some next level cringe.
Dude.
There's nothing. And if they come and they show us footage of the new Star whatever the fuck, and it looks like Fallout 76.
If it looks like any Bethesda title in the last decade.
People are just going to be, fuck you. They're going to be like, no. They're not going to be excited about this. This is the last thing they want right now. Bethesda needs some good grace. They need like a good 6 months of awesome or just not shit before they can dumb us back down to reality again. They come back out and they show us some Fallout 76 Skyrim looking shit that we've already seen over the last God knows how long on every platform, including a fridge. We don't care. We don't care because it's going to be the same. If people don't understand that they're going to get the exact same recycled game as what we've always gotten with a different chipset, they're higher than a motherfucker. That's what we're getting, bro.
That's it.
That's why they're not showing it.
It's the same engine.
It's the same game.
Todd's already sprinkled it in interviews over time about why they're still using the same engine. It's not going to change.
Salesman, bro.
Oh my God, he gets on stage 16 times the detail. We've never had so many people at Bethesda working on a single title ever. It's going to be the greatest experience. There's going to be some bugs. Show me Skyrim Alexa.
Yeah. See, I made a joke about the bugs and everything.
No, we know.
We know. But we won't fix them.
No.
Fuck them.
It's the same shit. Same bugs from games that are fucking over 10 years old. They're appearing in brand new games because it's the same engine doing the same shit. And it's not going to change.
No.
And I fucking told you if they did that with Elder Scrolls 6 that I'd probably not play it. And I'm fucking serious. Honest to God, I don't think that Bethesda has it in them anymore. I think they're done.
Yes.
I think Bethesda's done.
Yes.
I think Todd knows it. And I've said it before. If Elder Scrolls 6 and or Starfield come out and they are not fucking God tier,
they're done.
The company is done.
It's Dunsky.
The franchises are dead. Todd Howard retires.
Yep.
And that's the show.
It's over.
It's wild, dude. It blows my mind. I said it when I did my Fallout 4 review. One of my first reviews I did video reviews for when I started doing the shit a few years back. And I said it there. I said, this is the last game that people will allow them to do this shit.
Bro, it's 2019.
And now it's 2019, and Fallout 76 popped, and what happened? People went, fuck you.
So bad. Bro, and their next games are going to be on the same fucking engine, man. It's crazy, dude. Take some of that dirty money and innovate, man. Jesus Christ.
Because that's the problem, is that they have all this money right now.
Take the money.
If they get into a situation where the money's not there anymore, they're going to be like some of these other major developers where they've just squandered away all their time where they could take risks.
Yep. That's it. That's it, bro.
And now they really do have to use the same engine.
Yes, bro.
Because they can't afford to otherwise.
You know what they are right now? They're Leg TV.
Yes.
After Leg TV had their run.
Yeah. They're on the way out.
We should have innovated. We didn't. We sat on the same engine for too many goddamn years.
Way too long.
And now we can't even innovate. You know what our innovation is? This podcast. But yet we're still stuck. And
exactly.
in order for the podcast to get funded,
yeah,
we have to innovate with more When She's Fails replays.
That's right.
That's
where we're at.
That's where we're at, and that's where Bethesda's going. And guys, for the love of Christ, Bethesda, don't become Leg TV. Innovate and create. Spread your wings while you've got the money and the fan base. Don't throw it away, because there's going to come a point in time where you're just going to be left in a pocket. And you have to stay in that pocket whether you like it or you don't. And motherfuckers, if you come out with the same games again, it's over. And the ones that enjoy the same pocket will sit there and it'll be fine, and you'll just survive. You won't live. You'll survive.
For a time.
For a time. Then you'll die. That's
slow death.
Slow
death.
Slow death.
But now I really want to know what we see at E3. My most like interest right now is, what the fuck does Bethesda show at E3? Do they even have a show? Are they going to announce like a month before it happens?
Skyrim.
We're not even showing up.
Skyrim.
Now exclusive to the Epic Games Launcher.
Yes. It's coming on Epic Games Launcher. And guess what, guys? It's available now.
Right now.
Right now. Go and download that shit via Epic Launcher. Go.
Show me Skyrim on Samsung Bixby.
Stadia. Skyrim on Stadia. Just
Skyrim will be a launch title for Stadia.
Just everywhere. Just give it. Just put it on everything, bro. Fuck. That's what it is. Name your firstborn child Skyrim and we'll send you a free copy of Skyrim. That's it.
Mr. Max is black.
Yeah.
Hit me up with the sounds of movies and
Whoa.
TV.
Whoa.
Wait, what?
There's more.
Oh, wait, there's more?
What else happened this week?
I thought there
was another
Is there
thing.
more?
I thought there was another big thing that went down.
I don't know if I have the heart.
What else happened in video game related shit? Because I heard something the other day. Oh, Sega Mini.
Oh, shit, that's right. Nobody even put that in. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Sega
The Sega Mini. And it's got some fire game. That's a good, positive news.
Yes.
Positive.
Yes. I'm going to get, let me try and find
Positive news.
Positive.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And it's about old video games.
And it's on a fucking system I don't really care about all that much, but I'm still.
But god damn it, Gunstar Heroes is on it.
That, dude, I
by
was,
itself.
Yes. Dude, I was so happy. I was so fucking happy when I saw Gunstar Heroes on this motherfucker.
Yes.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Sega is officially coming out with their Mini. Now, there are all kinds of random little mini Sega things that you can buy that you could buy for years.
This is the
official Sega Mini HDMI thingy bobber.
Is the cable longer than 1.5 feet?
Hopefully. They've got some fire titles here. The first games got announced, and how many games in total is it going to be on there?
I can't remember.
40.
That's a lot of games,
They're
Jeff.
given 40, and they named 10.
That's a lot of games.
Okay, so here are the 10.
Some fire in this list too.
So Echo the Dolphin. I think that's how it's Echo, right?
Which you think is yeah, it is Echo. Yeah, it's Echo. You think that's a bad game? You'd be wrong.
No, it's actually not a bad game.
It's a good game.
I have that game.
You do?
I do. Castlevania Bloodlines.
Fire.
Which is arguably the best Castlevania of all time. People are fucking love that Castlevania. I wasn't a big Castlevania player, but For those Castlevania lovers out there,
Between that
that's
and
a good
Symphony
one.
of the Night, or like that battles it out.
Yes. We got Space Harrier 2.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, too. Shining Force.
Yeah,
also
yeah.
a very good game.
Yeah.
This I haven't played. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Don't know what that is,
Don't
but
know
it
what it
sounds
is.
like a sex move.
Then we've got Toe Jam and Earl. That's a good game, man.
I could go for a new Toe Jam and Earl.
I've fucked with one of those right now.
I mean, it's basically like Rayman for the most part.
Yeah, it's a good. They're good games. These are some classics, man. Then a game I haven't heard of or played, Cosmic Zone.
Comic Zone, you mean?
Comic Zone.
Which, dude?
I haven't played
You've
it.
not
Don't
played
know what it
Comic
is.
Zone?
Never played
Have
it.
you seen it?
No. It's not a puzzle game, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's a side scroller. It is, dude, just look it up real quick. Just give yourself a little peek, dude. You play through comic strips and shit. It's kind of like Beautiful Joe before Beautiful Joe was a thing.
Ooh.
It is fire.
Okay.
Fire.
So it's kind of looking. Damn, so many, dude. Sega.
Dude, Sega had some good games, bro.
Dude, man.
Comic Zone is no joke.
Damn, I'm seeing it. It looks like almost like Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time.
Yes.
Type shit. Okay, so there's that. Then they have Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, obviously you're gonna put a Sonic on there.
At least one.
At least one.
I want 1, 2,
They'll probably
3.
they'll probably put all of them on.
Like 1, 2, and 3 minimum.
Yeah. Then we've got 2 fire games here at the end.
Oh.
Altered Beast.
Oh.
That game is dope as fuck, and I have the variant, the console, the full inbox, because they came out with the combo pack of Altered Beast and the Sega Genesis console.
Ooh.
I have that.
Very nice.
It's a dope game. And then the Cream.
We haven't had Cream yet? Because this has been like 98% Cream.
This is the Cream.
Okay.
Gunstar Heroes.
Oh, man.
I got that shit up there somewhere. It's here somewhere. And we even did a playthrough of that
Yes.
on Lag TV.
Dude, Gunstar Heroes is so good. Comic Zone.
Dude,
Sonic.
those are the first 10 of 40 games.
I mean, you know there's going to be some shit in there.
Oh, there's going to be some shit.
There's going to be some shit.
There's going to be, there better
Dude,
not
you know
be
what better be on there? Fucking Road Rash.
There better be Streets of Rage.
Streets
on
of
there.
Rage. Road Rash needs to be on there.
I think we're going to see Mutant League Hockey or Mutant League Football.
Yes.
One of those types of
That would be
Mutant
dope.
Leagues. We're probably going to see Shinobi on there. That's a classic.
That's another good one.
Yeah, I mean, Prince of Persia might be on there.
Dude, there's some
good Sega games.
Wild games on there.
So, this is a good lineup for Sega. This is infinitely more impressive than the PlayStation Gong Show that they came out with, which is already now like $39. You can buy that shit now for like, that didn't sell very well.
Ask me if I'm going to buy it for $39.
I'm probably going to, just because I'm a
Well,
collector.
it makes sense.
And I won't open it.
I'm not going to.
No, I know you're not.
Definitely not.
But when that came out, that shit was like 115 Canadian.
Yeah.
That was a huge note. Now it's like $39.
Still a huge no.
Yes, it's really still a huge
It's
no.
still a huge no.
There's some really garbage on that console, and they should have had a lot more games they did. But that's Sony. That was the last. I knew there was one other thing, but that was
good. You remember that?
That was a good one.
I saw that early in the week, and then totally vaporwashed.
I will be buying this Sega Classic for show, and the classic that I'm looking for the most of all time. Give me that N64.
Oh, that's a tough one to do.
Give me that N.
The controller really makes that like a tough.
Give them N64 controllers.
Well, no, I understand that, but I want to say that of all the classic game controllers that we get, that's the most expensive and most difficult to produce. I mean, you look at all the other controllers. They're like squares.
I am willing to pay the $89 or $99.99.
Canada, you're paying $139 Canadian for an N64 Mini.
That's steep.
Because it's the N64, bro.
Okay, well, here it is.
N64.
If I can get 2 controllers that are legit N64-like controllers,
yeah,
and they give me 20 plus games,
yeah,
I'm buying it for 139 Canadian. I'm buying it for 139 Canadian. But they gotta give me the cream, man. They gotta put in some fucking fire. Like they gotta have those. They gotta have the Ocarina of Time. They gotta have the Mario 64. They gotta have the Mario Kart. They gotta have the GoldenEye. Just GoldenEye alone
Yeah.
on HDMI for your boys to play on that shit. It's selling.
Speaking of golden things, you know what else the Sega needs? Golden Axe.
Oh, that's going to be on there.
That's gotta be.
It's got to be on there. It's got to be on there. And what's nice about the Sega one is all we need is just the one system forever, because the catalog for Sega, it's a big catalog, but the classics, there's a finite amount of
it's not as broad.
fire classics.
Yeah.
You look at something like the Nintendo, like the NES or the SNES minis. They gave us a snippet, but I mean, they could add another. I mean, they could do the version 2 with another fucking.
Well, there's
20,
just
30,
a lot
40.
more people producing for Nintendo, and then Nintendo themselves putting out a lot of really good games that kind of helps that catalog along.
Yep. All right. So this is the part we're going into movies and TV. Hit that like button
Smash
if you haven't already. We're trying to get 650 likes.
Yes!
It's episode 100.
It is.
And we got some super chats in here. Let me scroll up and see them. I don't know why they're not pinning to the top, but Pop-Tarts with $2.
Pop-Tarts, chocolate Pop-Tarts? Pretty
Fire. And Diedrich with $10.
Thank you.
Well. So very profitable.
Thank you.
Podcast indeed.
Bless.
We even had that 27 something, a couple of 2s, a 50. So we appreciate the love. And if you guys want to support, you can go to patreon.com/lagtv. We just fell under 2,500 again. It happened. So now we need to get back there. I believe we're at 2,486.
Doing well.
By the time we're done this podcast tonight,
Yeah.
I'd love to see the 25.
I think we can do it.
It's just my OCD hurts.
And just as a tangent here with Technical Alpha, or not a tangent, but in the same vein here, to give you an update on the physical goods.
Yep.
Since we've talked about it the last few weeks. So I have been in the process of talking with Canada Post and trying to figure out the best way to get these things out, because they're not going to be cheap.
No.
So we're trying to find a way to get them to you guys in reasonable time and not cost way too much money.
Yes.
And so I just ordered another set of tubes to be smaller than the ones we had, because we really didn't need, those were enormous tubes for what we're putting in there.
There's some big-ass tubes.
Some big-ass tubes.
Let me show you guys those big-ass tubes while Adam's explaining it to you.
Yeah, so we some really massive tubes that would have cost a fortune, and they didn't have caps. So I got some smaller ones that will hopefully do the job better and will reduce the shipping cost as well, and by proxy, hopefully, the time. Yeah, see, that's just...
These are the big-ass tubes.
That's just...
And
they're 2 feet long. I mean, that's just too much.
Yeah.
The ones I got are 18-inch, so we can roll the posters on the short side so that they'll fit in perfectly fine. We'll get the pins and stuff in there. So we got that coming, and then I set up a little businessy account, and then I'm going to stop in the post office and have a little chit-chat with them, because there's a lot of international people that have requested their swag, and all that obviously requires forms to be filled out for shipping stuff out. So I want to try and see if there's a way for us to get a lot of those forms ahead of time, so that when we sit down to package all this stuff up, we can get it done in 1 or 2 days, and Bob's your uncle. But that's your update for that. But the stuff's going well. We have the list up. Everything's looking good. You guys have been really good about sending your information in, so thank you.
Yeah, and the StarCraft's been rolling out. We cast some more games today. We still have more games to go up, so you guys have been doing a great job at supporting that stuff. And on top of that, I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon with World Vision. So I'm going to be on call with them.
For the kids.
For the kids. There's a couple of new people that are on the team there. And then one of the main guys actually is no longer with World Vision. So I got to introduce myself and get up to speed with those guys. And then we'll figure out exactly what we're looking at in terms of content for throughout the year.
Yep.
So I'm sure there is going to possibly be another season for the kids.
It looks like it might be coming.
Or for charity. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. I should have some sort of update for you for next podcast. So yeah, that's all those newses.
Absolutely.
Yep.
What's happened in the movie world, Mr. Black?
Nothing. Literally nothing, dude.
Because we're waiting for the end of the month.
I mean, this month here is, if you're a moviegoer or a TV lover.
You got Game of Thrones, you've got Endgame, all happening at the same time.
I got my Endgame tickets.
Nice.
11 a.m. on the Friday. Couldn't get the Thursday. They were sold out. When Endgame tickets went on sale, the
crashed
Cineplex,
like every website
there was, just gone, dude. I couldn't log in, and then when I finally could log in, sold out. So it's like, well, fuck me.
Yep.
So I managed to get him in the morning. I know Kayla wants to go, but we do have the baby, and the movie is over 3 hours long. So the only way I could get tickets was Friday morning. So there's a good chance that you're going to get one of those tickets. We're going to go together, and then on a night where my mom can come over, then I'll go see it again with Kayla. Because I saw Infinity War twice, too. So there's a very good chance that you and I will be going. I got great seats, too.
Joker trailer.
Ooh, fire. That shit was good. Did you watch it?
I did.
Dude, I knew Joaquin Phoenix was going to do a great job.
Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor.
He's an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor. Everything he touches is gold. And I knew, because when people were like, oh, another Joker movie, I knew that this was going to be different. I knew that this is a character piece. This is a character study. We're watching the real development of the Joker, and we're seeing the Joker of a Heath Ledger type Joker, where we're not getting a Heath Ledger performance, but we're getting that type of Joker. So you could really kind of use your imagination of
it's still a bit different than Heath Ledger's Joker, though.
Oh, for sure. But also Heath Ledger's Joker was already established in the movie.
Yeah,
like he starts off and he's already the Joker.
Yeah.
We get to watch him we get to watch him become the actual Joker.
Yes.
And it looks like, he's taking care of his mom. Seems like his mom has some sort of maybe mental instability. Something's going on there. And of course he does.
He's playing the clown and everything.
Playing the clown, and his mom's always telling him to smile. And it's a trailer that almost makes you feel for the Joker of all people. So they're like humanizing him.
And it's still a bit unsettling.
Yes. Yeah, it's creepy, man.
Like, because which he's good at, right? Like that's kind of his wheelhouse, is doing kind of like characters that just make you a little unsettled. And yeah, I think it looks great. I'm excited for it personally. I didn't think I'd say that about a Joker movie again, because I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah.
I need a break from them rebooting the fucking Joker.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had 50 Shades of Joker now, and we need to just fucking stick with the Joker.
Yep.
And just run with it for a bit. As long as it's not fucking Jared Leto's Joker, I'm happy.
Yeah,
because whatever the shit that purring is, get that the fuck out. Yeah, man, he did a shit job. And just to fucking think that he actually thought that the movie would have been better if they put more of the scenes of him in there, and he said that shit publicly,
but you
bro.
know, he's those. You can tell he's like narcissistic, like he's all in his own thing, you know.
Dude, it was bad.
It wasn't very good. Just a couple of moments where I was like, okay, that was cool, but no,
he's the worst Joker.
He's up there.
I can't think off the top of my head of literally any era of Joker that's worse than him, animated or otherwise. I think he's the worst Joker.
I think you're right. I actually think you're right, dude.
Any of them.
I think you are right.
It's just bad. So yeah, that was good, but I am excited for that. Do we have a release date for that?
I thought it was the summer.
Is it a summer?
I thought it was the summer, but it's coming, one way or another. Let me see. Joker in theater October 4th.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
very nice.
Small budget-ish, $55 million. So not like a massive budget.
Yeah, well, for the type of movie it looks like it is, you don't really need.
No, you don't need
crazy budget.
The most of that budget.
This is a character piece.
Yep. Some good talent in there too.
It's a freaking character piece done by a man who does characters very well.
And then so there's that, and that's pretty much it, man. Because Game of Thrones is coming in less than 2 weeks.
Yep.
And which is crazy to even think. Endgame is coming in like 3 weeks. Shazam comes out. I think Shazam came out today. Might be today. But I seen that last week when they had the Fandango early preview thing.
Yeah.
I really like that. And Pet Sematary comes out, I think, today too. So I want to see that.
Oh, that's right, Pet Sematary,
which I'm hearing really good things about. And of course, that's an old classic as well.
It's a
Stephen King,
another
right?
Stephen King trip.
Yeah, and I've been hearing really good things about that.
Ooh, speaking of horror type stuff, the Chucky reboot.
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill going to be the voice of Chucky.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's good.
That's
I like
cool.
that.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's coming in, man. Mark Hamill's having a
having
renaissance,
he
man.
is.
Ever since the new Star Wars came out, I mean, who doesn't like Mark Hamill? Mark Hamill, it's not like he's ever been gone.
If you can't like Mark Hamill, I don't trust you as a human being.
He's a good dude, and he's an even better voice actor.
Dude, his voice acting is
better
real.
than his on-screen acting.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
He gets into character, and
He's actually my personal favorite Joker.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see
from the animated series, which I also think is the best version of Batman.
My personal favorite Joker is Heath Ledger, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of animated wise, it's not even a question. It's not even a question.
No.
But yeah, no, he's going to be the voice of Chucky, so that's pretty damn cool.
I didn't think I'd ever actually want to see another Chucky movie, but just because Mark Hamill is the voice of Chucky, now I kind of want to go see a Chucky movie.
I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai Season 2, when does that come out? That is soon, right?
They're doing a Season 2 of that?
They've already filmed it. I do believe it's already filmed.
Damn.
Did you watch the first season?
I did.
Did you like it?
We talked about it in the podcast?
I don't remember if you said you liked it or not. I thought you said...
I did. I did, but there were things about it that just kind of irked me a bit.
So
but
will you watch Season 2?
But overall, probably. It's annoying to go through a VPN and fucking have to like pay.
They don't do that. They got rid of YouTube Red or whatever that shit was.
Yeah, but is he still going to be in Canada, or do you still have to be in the States to see it?
That I don't know.
I mean, it's not a problem. I have a VPN.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
but fuck it.
It's one of my favorite memes when it comes to the VPN stuff. It's like in regards to Article 13, it's a picture of Childish Gambino from This Is America, and it's just like my VPN when the EU blocks YouTube. This is America.
It's fitting.
It's so good.
It's fitting.
Fuck. Yeah.
And that's okay. So on the 24th, Cobra Kai comes out.
They're going head to head with Game of Thrones.
Bad life choice. Just bad.
They couldn't have waited just a little bit.
Bad life choice, bro. So I can't wait for every week to talk about Game of Thrones. It's gonna be exciting.
It's gonna be crazy.
And what nights does Game of Thrones air on? Like what nights of the week?
Hasn't it always been Sunday?
I think so. April. Game of Thrones season 8. So first episode comes out on the 14th,
which is
let me see here, a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep. So it comes out every Sunday. So that gives us plenty of time. So like every Thursday we can talk about spoilers.
Absolutely.
And it'll be like whatever, because
I'm probably gonna end up watching it twice, because I'll end up watching it on the Sunday, and then I'll end up having to watch it with Gabs when she gets access to it, because I'm not risking getting spoiled. I'll happily watch them both.
No,
I'll watch them back to back. I don't care.
Sundays live.
It's like Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm watching that shit. There's
right.
no stream. There's nothing. I'm getting the fuck off the internet, because I'm telling you right now, there's no safe haven on the interwebs on any platform.
No.
The moment, and we're talking moment by moment. The show could be 10 minutes in, and somebody would come to the stream or on Twitter or something and just give you a spoil.
That's right.
Like you go on social media when that shit's on, it's a massive worldwide discussion second by second.
Yep.
So I want to be turned off, lights down, pot lights on, OLED on, surround sound.
Watching
no baby, just give me my motherfucking show. Give me my hour to an hour and 20 minutes of just silence, and give me Game of Thrones. Can't wait.
I watched The Highwaymen this week.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a Netflix show that Woody Harrelson and let me just check, because I can't think of his name.
The Highwaymen.
Oh, frick.
The Highwaymen.
Is it Kevin Costner?
Highwaymen, yeah. We bring a great honor to the Highwaymen. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. We trying to hit 650 likes.
Yes, Kevin Costner. So Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson.
Both good actors.
Both great actors. And it's following the story. You know who Bonnie and Clyde are. Everyone knows about Bonnie and Clyde. So, at least if you're in North America anyway, maybe even if you're not. So Bonnie and Clyde, it follows the two Rangers, like the Texas Rangers, that inevitably tracked down and killed Bonnie and Clyde. So it's telling it from their side instead of the romanticizing of Bonnie and Clyde, just like what happened when they were actually doing all the shit that they were, and everyone treated them like superstars.
Yes.
Like they were Hollywood but they were going around killing people.
Yes.
A lot of police officers in brutal fucking ways, and everyone just wanted to like see them and oh, Bonnie and Clyde, what? And so it tells it from the side of these two guys who were obviously older, because the Rangers were taken out, basically taken out of commission many years before this would have happened, when they had the police forces and stuff put in place. Wiretapping was a relatively new idea, all of these kind of newer concepts. And then somebody was like, we got to bring in these two guys, or this guy specifically, and then he goes to get Woody Harrelson's character, and they go off to do it, and it shows their side of it, and it was
Interesting.
It's actually really good.
A movie or a show?
A movie.
Oh, okay.
It was a movie. 2 hour. I think it was exactly 2 hours long or something like that.
Okay, that's not bad.
And I really enjoyed it. The complaints are they mumble a lot. I don't know if people are just deaf. I didn't really, certainly no more mumbling than when you would have had in like True Detective, where they're kind of like thinking deeply about something and they're just kind of speaking and down like whatever. But I thought it was great. Woody Harrelson is still one of my favorite actors. He's still out there doing it. He's kind of like a typecast at this point. He's good. He's in terms of the characters that he plays, whether it's a period piece or not. It's like the same freaking character that he plays. Yeah. But damn it,
he's good.
He does a good job of it.
He's good.
And I haven't seen Kevin Costner
in forever.
And he did a fucking good job in this show too.
Nice.
So, or this movie. So, thumbs up for me. Especially since it was more of a not romanticizing Bonnie and Clyde thing, which I thought was important, and to just, it's an interesting piece of history, because after this happened, they reinstated the Rangers after this, because it was a success, bringing them back.
I might have to check it out.
They knew what they were doing, and all the cops and shit had no idea what the fuck they were doing, and just chasing themselves around. Because Bonnie and Clyde were on the road for like 2 years, uncaught,
doing shit,
doing their thing. So I watched that, and then last night, while I was looking for a little, wind down after bed, I've been getting in a habit of trying to watch like a movie here and there, just trying to catch up on stuff I haven't seen, even if it's really old. If Netflix has got it, I'm interested. I watched The Da Vinci Code.
Oh, God.
With Tom Hanks. It wasn't a bad movie. It was really good. I thought it was pretty good. I read the book when I was younger, when it first came out.
Have you seen the other ones? Because there's
the other ones are really bad. But the first one is really not that terrible, and it held up relatively well. So, and I think the reason why it was better than the others is because it actually was almost identical to the book. They didn't really go off the beaten trail too much with the movie, and I don't know like how many people remember how big the Da Vinci Code was.
It was
when
massive
Dan
movie.
Brown released that book. It sold more than the Bible for a while. Like the shit was real, and I remember reading it and blowing my mind, because the stuff that he fucking came up with for like stitching all this together, like the puzzle work and stuff that he had, and just like it was nuts. I couldn't even imagine. Even now watching the movie, it blew my mind that he sat down and just came up with, some of it's obviously borrowed from already existing, theories and things, but he stitched it together in such a fucking amazing way. Tom Hanks did a good job, because Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, man. Tom Hanks has always been an actor that I've enjoyed. He's never overly wowed me since like Castaway, and even when I watch that now,
but he just does a good damn
he's just
job.
a good solid actor. He's a good solid actor.
So I enjoyed his part in it.
He's not a movie star though. Like
not really.
He's not. He doesn't. He's
not anymore. I mean, he did. I mean, Forrest Gump.
Yeah, but I mean, like even I think his biggest hit in the last several years was the pilot one that he did, where he played the
which
pilot.
ended up being very controversial or something, didn't it? Was that one?
I'm not sure. I think a lot.
No,
of
that was the other one. That was
enjoyed
Captain Phillips was the
Captain
controversial
Phillips,
one.
that was a controversial one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Captain Phillips, and the one where he was the pilot. Where he was,
He just you get Tom Hanks because you know he's going to do your role really well.
Yeah.
It's not gonna necessarily blow people away, but you're not gonna get a bad job.
We're gonna see Tom Hanks pretty soon in Toy Story 4. That's happening.
Toy Story 3 came out so long ago. It makes me feel so old.
Well, they're supposed to end it then, and now they got one more. Disney just had their, just like I think over the weekend or whatever, just had their like big showing of movies that are coming out. They did the first 17 minutes of Toy Story 4 for the audience, and everyone was loving
Toy
it
Story.
and wanting more.
Of course.
So really good things there. And apparently they showed more footage of The Lion King, and apparently it's God tier.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently it's like...
It better be.
Apparently it's God tier.
Because
it's
if
like
it isn't...
watching the cartoon, but in real life.
Because if it isn't...
Oh.
You're like, when you enter Lion King territory...
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing live action...
Yeah. Well, you need to nail the Lion King.
You
can fuck up Aladdin. You can fuck up Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
You can fuck up Jungle Book.
Lion King is your that's your Thunderdome. That's your Super Bowl. It's the Catalina fucking wine mixer.
Don't fuck this one up. But they're not going to fuck this up.
So yeah, watch that. That was good. Enjoyed it enough as it is. But I'm not going to watch the other ones because they're bad.
Cool.
And that was it.
That's it.
That was it for me.
That's it for me.
In the worlds of movies and TV. Mr. Max was Black hit me up with the sound of tech support.
Tech support.
I'm going to answer this one real quick. It's coming in from Yggdrasil, who we actually casted a game of.
Oh, there you go.
I believe today.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's just coincidence, I don't know. But do you guys have a community Discord? If you don't, have you ever considered setting one up? So we don't. We have our individual community Discords because we're live streamers, obviously, on the side of this. And running a third Discord for the Lag TV community is just adding more work for us, or trying to pass off that work to community members to maintain and moderate. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You can just join my Discord, the War Council, or Jeff's got the Fellowship Discord, and you'll get the same experience. It's a lot of the Lag TV community between the two of them.
Yeah.
And join up there.
That's it.
And that's it. Let's see what else we got here. Shady, who just Shady should be an interviewer. The questions are always good. What's the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome in making the podcast, and what improvements would you implement, if any?
Biggest hurdle.
I think the biggest hurdle. That we had early on was making a 3-man podcast work where we weren't in the same room.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons, like the audio quality, getting files synced up was a fucking nightmare. The amount of editing that I did to make files work was not fucking worth.
No.
Like if you saw the timeline on some of the audition shit that happened, there were some times where Panic's audio, for example, was particularly bad. No matter how hard we tried to fix it, there were like 60 cuts on just his audio.
Nah, bro. This guy's editing an audiobook.
That's rough. So that was a major hurdle there for the first bit. And then I would say the second hurdle is just getting the word out about the podcast, even within our own community, or getting people to try out listening to the podcast within our community has been a bit of a hurdle for us, because we have lots of people. This podcast isn't going to be for everyone who watches our StarCraft content.
No, of course not.
But I've always thought that it's definitely for more than who have seen it so far. It's just that we've been having a hard time battling, whether it's battling their preconceptions of what the podcast is, or battling YouTube, trying to get people to see that it's even a thing.
Yeah.
Has been a hurdle. And then as far as improvements go, at some point, and this is still like a long way away, I imagine, if at any point this podcast gets to a point where it makes sense to have guests, because right now it does not, it just flat out does not make sense to have guests.
No.
That would be a cool option. The thing about that is that to do that properly is a lot more equipment than we're running right now. And it's, if you don't have the guest in the room with you, it presents a lot of the same problems that we had when we were running the 3-man podcast.
Yeah.
Getting the guest's audio, trying to show them or teach them how to do the recording locally, or just trying to rely on like the shitty audio that you get via voice over IP or whatever.
Unfortunately, that's what it would.
Like that's
what it would like be. Right?
We're not
Joe
like you
Rogan.
Do it,
exactly.
You can't
you can't fly people into the studio.
No.
But yeah, that's what it would be. It would be for those specific podcasts. The person talking's audio wouldn't be that great, and that's what it's like for 99% of podcasts.
Yes.
All the MMA podcasts that I watch, even the ESPN podcasts I watch, they have people call in, and sometimes it's breaking up. You can't hear what they're saying. It's just
awkward as fuck.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is people don't really care all that much. Like because they're used to that. That's the way.
But it still usually means there is a production guy that, while the podcast is running, is handling the logistics of the caller coming in and the audio board. You have it like he's on a mixer. They're feeding the phone line into the mixer. They're handling all that shit.
It's a gong show.
So that you and I aren't sitting here, and I'm not trying to like do all that shit while having a conversation and just, it gets fucking wild. So other than that, as far as improving the podcast, there's not a lot we can do. I think we do pretty well. I think our audio quality is great when we remember to turn the mic stuff on. I think that we've improved with the camera. Certainly helped quite substantially. And so from a production standpoint, I think we're doing quite well. I think we're doing well enough for the content that we're trying to provide. I think we're pretty much nailing it. And then I think, even when it comes to special events and stuff like E3, I think we do fine. I know I'm watching it, so I record my stuff. Jeff hops in when he's got some time and it's interesting to him, and then we do our coverage, and that's the show. I don't think there's really too much more beyond guests. If it makes sense in the future.
The podcast is doing well now. Like it's on the come up right now, like in terms of views, in terms of support. So I can't complain all that much.
Mark screaming, "Need a production guy!" I know you'd be down, Mark, but we like the amount of it's the setup stuff.
We just don't need it right now.
We don't need it right now.
We're just not in a position.
And I don't know how we would even who we would want to try and interview, and it presents a lot of shit that would be difficult right now, and we have enough going on outside of this podcast that adding more on top of what we got right now doesn't make sense. But perhaps in the future.
In the future, you never know.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Would be lovely. Would be lovely. The podcast blew up. We had like a nice little studio space or something, and we had Mark come over and he's running the shit. That's
having your own like space to go to.
Just a little space to go to and run the show, and have a couple cameras set up instead of trying to use one, and being able to like be a little bit more involved.
We're not Joe Rogan though.
We're not Joe Rogan though.
We're just two men.
Getting
together once a week.
$2,400 a month on Patreon, split between two people.
Hey,
making the dream
and the government
a reality. And
so
making the dream happen.
The dream is alive.
Let's see. Here's one for you, Mr. Black. Volkus asks, now that the weather is improving, do you plan on doing some more car videos, or is that on hiatus while you focus on family?
Yeah. I'll do some car videos for sure.
I know what you're really looking forward to is yard sale season.
That's it. That's what I'm looking forward to. Like the car videos and stuff. It's fun for me to do. Whenever I go to car shows and events, I'll definitely take my camera, do my thing. I'll be able to make some funny videos because there is a car seat buckles and stuff in the back of my car. So I'll definitely put baby Kai back there and do like a funny video of the C63 being like a family friendly. Is it a family friendly car? And taking the kid out, doing whatever.
You're gonna want to put some airplane headphones on your child so that he does not damage hearing from the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Either that or just leave it in comfort mode the whole time. Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I'll definitely be doing that. But really looking forward to the yard sale stuff. And obviously, I won't be taking my car to the yard sales, but I'll be. Doing some live footage, and when I get the games on the podcast, I can show what I picked up,
the highlights
at the end of like the gaming thing or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Have some more to talk
about. And there's
about.
tons of people that love that sort of stuff, so that might actually help the podcast a little bit too in terms of people wanting to tune in to see what I've picked up on the streets. Because as of right now, all the games you're seeing behind me, and there's another wall in the other room, and this display case, and all of this case, all the consoles, everything, I am up $150.
Ooh. As long as you break even for that, like with your collection, that means that's a success.
I just bought this Nintendo Wii bundle, this big ass Nintendo Wii bundle.
Did the Fire bag come with it?
It did. I got all these games.
That Walmart tote.
Some good games too. Mario Party 10, Super
Nice.
Mario World, Super Mario Bros. U, Mario Kart 8, New Luigi, Mario Maker. Got all that and a boxed Wii U console. $120.
Damn.
$120.
Damn.
So you know, I could double my money off that. So I'll be doing that all summer.
I'm gonna roll up. We got a few questions that are very similar since it's the 100th episode. So Stuka is asking this, as well as Neil is also asking this.
Ask away.
Would we have done anything different with the podcast? Now that we're at episode 100, we look back on it. Would we have made different moves?
I would have loved to have started the podcast earlier. I think that's what irks me the most. I think
Like
of all
5
of it.
years ago?
Even 3 years
3
ago.
years ago, yeah,
3 years
good.
ago, we
Yeah.
probably would be at
So in
15,000.
a year before we actually started the podcast.
Yeah. Because what we did is we stopped producing StarCraft stuff altogether, then did the podcast, pissed off everybody that just wanted StarCraft.
Yeah.
Some tuned into the podcast at the beginning, and we didn't have this going then,
Exactly.
right? So it was like, me, you, Panic, 3 different places. Audio was weird. The way it looked was weird, although it still worked at the time.
Ideally, like from the get-go, if we were doing it like we're doing it right now,
Yes.
would have been ideal. We do it on YouTube, although 3 years ago, YouTube Live wouldn't have even been an option.
It wouldn't have been as good.
But doing it in the same room would have been the way to go.
Yeah.
I think it would have hooked a lot of people that tried it early on in our community when we were getting like 10, 12,000 views per podcast. Would have been good to have this dynamic early on to hold them because we lost. You can see the trend down over time there.
Yeah.
And then the trend coming
Now it's starting to
back
slowly
up.
come back up,
So-
which is good.
so,
So
yeah.
we'll grind this out, you know?
We're right. Yeah, I know it's fine, but that would have been probably the move is to just leverage that. At the time, it just didn't seem sensible. Like I don't think we obviously talked about all this stuff when we were setting the podcast up originally and trying to shift it. I was really adamant about having a third person because I was afraid that all of the discussions, which is still kind of true, that you and I would agree on so much that it would end up being a little too echo chambery, and it's nice.
We do,
sometimes
but
to
we
have,
don't too.
Yeah, no, it's true. But my concern was that was going to end up being kind of the case, and to have somebody else on board as well when we were trying to tackle a broader range of topics at the time.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really. That ended up being like minorly successful, but it didn't end up being like the core product that was the most popular. So. It's almost like another
People
one of
just
those,
needed leg TV, bro.
They just wanted some
leg TV.
It was a keep it simple, stupid situation.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know how to tackle it 100%. None of us had ever done a podcast before, and so we were flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
And we went from concept to launch in like 2 months.
Yeah, it was pretty
or some
quick.
shit.
It was pretty quick.
So it was pretty quick. So yeah, I mean, would we have done things differently? Perhaps. But I mean, I'm happy where we are right now.
Well, I'm not complaining. I mean,
I think
it
we're
would
doing well.
it would have been nice to have started earlier and all that stuff. But you know what? It's hindsight's 2020. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just happy the podcast is doing better. I'm happy people are tuning in. I'm happy that the YouTube stuff is doing a lot better. And just hoping that we can continue to do this for years to come. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It just fucking sucks that it's so hard to grow a podcast. Like, there are things that we can do. You know, we can make little funny snippets and advertise on YouTube and do, there's different things, Instagram advertisements, YouTube pre-roll advertisements on other podcasts and things like that. So, I mean, there's avenues that we didn't go down yet.
It's also just money that's just
we also
tough
just don't
to spend.
Exactly. You
Because
know,
we're really not pulling down that much, and like the kickback on what we'd get in terms of turnover for Patreon support is.
Yeah. I mean, it would boil down to like we could try it out once, you know, and make the investment. I have no idea what that would cost. Probably like a month's worth of revenue for the podcast, but that's the only really, because that's the only way. And like the reality of it is, and it's nothing against the viewers that are watching, because you guys are amazing, but if you ask yourself, are you sharing the podcast with your friends? Like, are you telling your friends to tune in? Are you sharing it on your Facebook? Are you tweeting it out and retweeting it? And for the vast majority of the people that are watching, the answer is no. They're showing up, they're hitting the like button, they're supporting the Patreon, which is fantastic, and that's more than what we could ever ask for. But the reality is YouTube is in such a place where it's so hard to grow organically, even from being consistent each and every week. It's not like we have a podcast 3 nights a week. It's once a week, that it's hard to grow without either paying for advertisement, and we don't even know how well that would go, or if the viewership isn't at the very least willing to hit the like button, leave a comment, and share. It's virtually impossible. Like, it really, it's so tough. It's not like we have like an uber unique podcast where you only can get this type of material here. Like, sure, we're the selling point. There's only one Adam and I, but there's so many gaming podcasts. And
well, that's what people attach themselves to, right? They can get this kind of information anywhere. What it comes down to is who delivers the information in a way that they find the most entertaining.
Yes.
Or what personalities do they like the most?
Yes.
There's lots of podcasts that just literally, sit down. I'm not gonna name names. They sit down, they take out a piece of paper, and they literally and they're just fucking railing through shit, and just occasionally like, a little joke on it, a little sip of water, and just like fly through shit. And there's a lot of people that just want that.
Yes.
They just want their shit in voice form, that they don't have to read it.
Yep.
And hear about everything there is.
Yep.
And then there are some people that want to hear two dudes screaming into microphones on a weekly basis.
Yes.
About how much the video game industry is sucking it up.
Yes.
And occasionally what they're doing right.
That's it. That's what we do here. But yeah, it's all good. Everything is going well right now.
Next question coming in from Alex or Alexala. Hey guys, thanks for making work more enjoyable for me. Means a lot to us. My question is, before becoming streamers and YouTubers, or before streaming and YouTubing was a thing, I think is the context here, what did you do at your 9 to 5 job that made work more bearable? So when we weren't streamers and YouTubers, and before that was really a major thing, what were you doing at work to try and make the 9 to 5 grind more bearable?
I just had fun, man. I just tried to have fun. So, cutting jokes with fellow employees. I was a server, so I just tried to have a good time. Like, even with my guests, like, each guest was an opportunity for me to make money off them. So I would be nice. I would try and be a chameleon and cater to their specific needs instead of treating everybody the same way.
Yeah.
I tried. It was almost a game, and I had fun. I had fun doing it, and it just so happened to help that when you work with fun people, it makes work so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't mean that there wasn't people there I didn't fucking like all that much and that were annoying, but at the end of the day, like, I had the most fun there. And I never really had any other major jobs. Like, I worked at the theater. And once again, shitty job, but fun people to work around. So I just had fun, man. I didn't go in there with a stick up my ass every day. Like, fuck, it's another. I mean, of course, I had days where I was like, fuck,
I had to go into work,
this.
yeah.
But most times, like, I'd get there, I'd be salty, I'm there. And then as soon as I got into the motion of it, like, everybody else was salty to be there. So we just said, fuck it, and had a good time. That's it. Just try and go in with an attitude that isn't hating life the moment you walk in.
Yeah, man. A similar situation for me. So all the jobs that I had, I was lucky in that the people I worked with were, by and large, I liked all of them, and we got along really well. So, it was easy to make work fun because just interacting with your coworkers was what got you through the day, right? Even if it was a shit work day in general, just having coworkers that you gave a shit about and you could laugh with and joke around with made it an enjoyable day. Like you could go home and you didn't want to kill yourself. Like that was pretty much it. And then even if it was a rough day, when you have coworkers like that, it's, you know, you at the end of the day you decompress and everyone complains about it, but you get to laugh about it because it's a shared experience of it being bullshit.
Yes.
Right? So that's kind of what my experience was like. You know, when I worked the summer camps early on when I was in university and Payne University doing the summer work. All the employees my coworkers were all amazing, from the management straight down through, and we all got, you know, joke around and had a lot of fun. So that was easy. And when, you know, I was working with kids, so unless you hate kids,
yeah. Well, you probably shouldn't be working there in the first place.
You shouldn't be working there in the first place.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I got to be a big kid for 8 hours a day, and just, you know, have fun and go outside and, you know, take them on little field trips and stuff. And I mean, shit, other than having to watch the same 3 Disney movies over and over again, wasn't really a bad time. But then when I worked in a job I wasn't as fond of, when I was the online marketing coordinator there for a bit, I was stuck in the office. Everyone hated their life in there. Everyone. But the coworkers all liked each other. But everyone hated the job so bad. And so it was stupid little shit, especially when you're like cubicles, kind of like we were, is that the only way that, like, the stupid things that you do to have fun, is that me and a guy who also worked there, his name was Arthur, there was a divider between us or whatever that was, you know, 6 feet tall or some shit. So when you're sitting down, I couldn't see shit. I'm just there in my own little fucking world. And once in a while, it would be a challenge throughout the day is who could hit who with a rubber band. But the only way you could do that, because of where we were sitting, is you had to bank it off of a wall. And so just randomly throughout the day, there'd be like a fucking rubber band and come off like on a corner and try and like beam the guy in the head or some shit.
That's dope.
And oftentimes, unfortunately, beyond him, there was another girl who was working there, and I'd get the angle fucked up, and I'd end up like hitting her in the back of the head instead. And one day I landed one in her coffee. Oh. And at that point, I had to adjust my aim a lot more, because it was all fun and games until I hit the coffee. Because that'll ruin somebody's day, bro. You can't be in an office and fuck with somebody's coffee.
Don't fuck with the coffee.
It's bad time. So yeah, but what it comes down to, all that is just coworkers that you're having fun with. It's just like, and if you don't have coworkers that you enjoy, then you're fucked.
It's hard to have fun.
There's nothing you're going to do to get
gonna
through the
hate
day.
your job.
But just put your nose down, grit your teeth, and bear it. So yeah. That's pretty much all I did, and I think that's about.
Is that all of them?
At least ones that are like, because there's a couple in here. I mean, we could try one. This one comes in from 8910. Says, Adam and Jeff, what's one thing that the other person doesn't know about you? Is there anything at this point, short of what the inside of our assholes look like, that we don't know about each other? Very little.
Honestly,
there's not a lot.
I don't think. I really, truly don't think, unless there's something I did this morning that you were unaware of. I
don't know what you had for breakfast this morning. I mean, I guess there's that.
I didn't have breakfast.
Oh, there you go.
I had sushi this afternoon, though.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, no. In terms of like major life things or something that would be considered important, no. I don't think so.
I really don't.
The answer's a hard no.
Pretty much. When you know each other for as long as we have, it's pretty hard for that to not to be the case. Just kind of difficult. Here's another easy one. Comes in from Robbie. Asks, would you ever buy a boat?
No. No. I've had these weird fantasies of buying an RV.
Really?
Just randomly. And I would have no desire to RV through the country or do some sort of road trip.
But just have an RV.
Just to have an RV. Like, just in case I ever wanted to spend the night in the RV or whatever. I've always thought about it. Never would buy one. As for a boat, it literally does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even I could think of about a bajillion things I'd rather spend like 20 grand on than buying a little shitty boat.
I enjoy being out on a boat, but it's not something that I would ever buy for myself. It's something that if I had the money, I'd buy for Dad, because Dad and Mom are big on sailing.
Yeah.
But I'm
not even big on sailing. Just the thought of even going out in the ocean, it's like, no. Like, if I want to sit in the harbor and have a few beer, then that's fine. but like any type of legit sailing, which you would do with a boat.
Yes.
Why else would you buy a? Why?
You have to enjoy the act of boating. You don't just buy one. Like there's some people that buy it just to have the status.
Adam, you could be like, Jeff, my parents just bought a fucking yacht. All right, they just bought a motherfucking yacht. It's a beautiful yacht.
Yep.
Come hang out. We're gonna go to fucking Newfoundland. I'd say
of all the places.
I don't know. This is the first place I think of. The answer would be a hard no. I'm gonna pass on that.
If my parents said we're going to Newfoundland, I'd also say a hard no.
Okay, we're going to Bermuda.
There you go. That's a little better.
It's a hard no.
Skip the triangle.
Yeah.
Just go to Bermuda.
Just go right to Bermuda.
Yeah.
You want to go to Caicos?
Yeah.
You want to go to fucking wherever? We're going to Florida. No. I'll go via plane.
I want to go to the Fire Fest in the Cocaine Islands.
Yeah, there you go. The answer's no. I don't care if it's like the most like luxurious yacht there is. I haven't even been on a cruise. There's nothing about being on the open sea that seems like a good time to me.
I like living next to the ocean a lot.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I do enjoy being on a boat, but not enough that I would go out and purchase a boat.
No.
It's
no. The closest thing that I could ever this is a stretch. But in another world, hipster Jeff is a thing. And hipster Jeff is one of those dudes that doesn't like to live in an apartment or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
So what hipster Jeff could possibly do is buy one of those houseboats that sit at the dock that never moves.
Yeah, and pay no property tax.
Pay no property tax and just live there. That's the closest thing of owning a boat I would ever own ever. Doesn't move, it's just there, it stays there, it's cool. You know, the girls you bring over are like, oh my god, you
own a boat.
This is a boathouse. Oh my god, it's gonna be so much.
God.
I can't wait to fuck on this boathouse.
I watch Tiny House on HGTV.
Dart. So that would be me. I'd be like, bitch, you want to go to my boathouse?
How about we go to the boathouse?
How about we go to the boathouse? That's what it'd be. That'd be hipster Jeff. So in another world, maybe another life.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's it.
No, I want one more because this is a fun one. Then we're ending on that one. This comes in from MD. What's the craziest thing you've ever done on a dare?
The craziest thing I've ever done on a dare.
I'm white bread, so I don't take dares, but I know I can say what the dumbest thing I've seen somebody do on a dare.
What?
Brian, which he took many dares for $5. Like anything for $5 he'd do them when we were younger. We had him two things. One was he you know those like pickle jars that are like that big? I get him to drink pickle juice out of the pickle jar, the entire thing, just the whole thing of pickle juice. It was like 1.5 liters of pickle juice. Pretty sure he projectile vomited after that one.
Oh, for sure.
And then the follow-up to that one was we took a glass of chocolate milk out of the fridge, and I put a dash of every spice in my mother's spice cupboard into the chocolate milk and mixed it up, and he pounded that one back. That was also a bit rough. Started smelling like Bed Bath & Beyond about halfway through, and then it just went straight to sewer water. Yeah.
I haven't really. I'm the type of guy too that never did the dares. Like if we were playing Truth or Dare, I'd always pussy out and take the truth, unless we were doing Truth or Dare and it was with a girl, and like then
you're betting on good stuff happening.
Yeah, like when we were younger, we used to go over to the island down there at Long Lake.
Yes,
and we used to go and play Truth or Dare. It was just a whole bunch of teenagers just looking to fuck, just a bunch of horny, hormonal kids. And of course, I'd pick
using
Dare.
Truth or Dare.
Like,
as
I dare you to go into the tent and get your dick sucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, that sounds horrible.
Yes.
But I guess I'll have to do it because it's Truth or Dare.
I dare you to eat this vagina.
Shit.
Okay. Double dare? So that would be the only times I've ever done dares. But when I used to work at the dollar store, and I think I've told this before, maybe not on the podcast, but definitely sometime in a cast. I used to work at Dollarama, and my mom used to run the joint, and I was hired, and my mom used to hire a lot of my friends. I used to just get them jobs.
Of course.
And one of my buddies, Scott, not Scott B, but a different Scott. He worked there, and this guy once again was kind of like Brian, where he would just do things for money. But this time we didn't actually do things for money. We did things for bragging rights.
Oh.
So we used to...
Pretty sure this entire YouTube channel is built around that now.
Yeah, so...
Ahead of your time.
So pretty much what would happen here is we would do a thing called Dollarama Fear Factor.
Oh, no.
Didn't I tell you about this?
I feel like this sounds very familiar to me.
So you said
the Fear Factor part.
We used to do Dollarama Fear Factor.
Yes, yeah.
Now, if anybody's ever been in a dollar store, just your typical, $1, $2 store,
it's a house of lies.
It is a house of lies. And they have an aisle, a food section, and in the food section, there's foods in there that you wouldn't eat ever.
No.
Or there's foods
Even
in there
for $1.
that have been stacked there forever. Like nobody buys it ever. So what we did is every week we used to do Dollarama Fear Factor, and the winner used to get bragging rights. So it was our break. We had a 15-minute break. I said, Scott, you ready for an episode? He said, all right.
Oh, man.
So we went down to the food aisle, and I grabbed a jar of garlic paste. Like, it was legit, like, it was a jar.
Oh, is it like the pre-minced garlic?
Yes. So it's like, it's really, like, cut up fine.
Like it's
and you almost,
garlic.
yeah, you could just, like, put it on. Spoon, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got that, and we went back, and we went to the very, like, there's tons of these jars. Nobody's buying this shit ever. And we go in the back. We picked, like, the oldest one. Not like I don't think a date would really matter at this point. And we open it. We go back to the lunchroom. I open it up, and whoo, man, it's like the smell of garlic has never been so intense.
You've officially opened up a jar of, like, 80 cloves of garlic that's been minced.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's strong.
So I said, all right, your mission here is to eat this jar.
To
eat this
jar?
To eat this.
Not a spoonful.
To eat this jar, right? So Scott said, all right. And he had this stupid grin on his face, right? And the assistant manager came in. My mom was working that night, but she was up at the cash. And the assistant manager comes in. She goes, you might not want to do that.
No shit.
Right? And she knew what we were doing. And Scott said,
just
fuck
the
it.
amount of sulfur alone.
Scott said, fuck it.
Oh.
So he took a spoon, right? We went to the kitchen aisle. And we got one of those big ass spoons.
Oh, no.
And we go back.
No,
and he takes a big fucking. I mean, we went and got like a big spoon. It was like one of the big fucking.
Well, if you're gonna do this
spoon.
and it's a whole jar, you better fucking pound it.
Right?
You don't nibble your way through a jar of
he grabs
garlic.
It, and I said, all right, you got 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Jesus, Joe Rogan,
I
he's
said,
up.
all right, go. I said, all right, go. And he takes it. He takes a big fucking spoonful. He puts it in his mouth. He swallows it. He takes another spoonful. He puts it in his mouth, and he stops halfway through the second spoonful. And these spoons, like the jar was only about that tall. It was probably about that round.
Oh my god!
And he took
dude.
about 30. It was about 30% of the jar gone in 2 spoons. And it was almost like he didn't taste the first spoonful.
Well, it just didn't hit him yet.
Yes.
Because he opened his mouth and the air hit his mouth and it was game over.
And he got through the second. And he swallows half the second. And then he spits the second half on the table. And he's like, "Oh man, whew." He said, "Oh, that's strong, right?" I said,
That's strong.
And I'm sitting there
He
instigating.
sounded like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there I'm instigating because you know me, right? I'm like, come on, man, you've got 20 seconds.
You better do it.
I was like, man, you
Don't
got 20
pussy
seconds.
out.
And he spit it all on the table. I'm like, don't worry about that. Just finish what's in the jar, right? And he's like, nah. He's like, nah, man, strong. All right, and he starts coughing. He's like, ah. He's like, that's strong. And then he goes over to the sink, puts his hand on it, and he's trying to rinse out. So it's time to go back to work. I go back on the cash. Scott he's out of commission for a little bit. He ends up back on the floor, and he's just doing his normal duties. And I heard my mom, dude, my mom's off the cash now, and she's in an aisle unpacking shit. And my mom out loud, and there's customers everywhere, just out loud, she goes, "What the fuck is that smell of garlic?" Right? And I mean, dude, the whole store.
Well, hey, of course it did.
The whole store smelled like garlic, the whole fucking thing. And we're not, it's bad garlic. Hardcore, straight garlic. And I'm sitting there laughing. Scott comes up. Now he's like a different color. He's like greenish, whitish, pale. He's going to throw up something fierce,
Absolutely.
Right? And he comes out and he's sweating. And his sweat, his pores just stink. He's like one walking fucking piece of garlic. He's just walking around garlic. He goes out back and just power pukes, like just throwing the whole back room, the lunchroom, everything just smelled like garlic. We had to open up the back receiving doors to get air in there.
Dude, he would have smelled like garlic for 2 weeks.
Mom sent him home. Mom's like, go the fuck home, bro. You're done. You're a go home.
Oh my God.
So that was the dumbest dare I've ever seen somebody do. And it was terrible. We still talk about it whenever I see Scott, which is rare. But he hit me up on Facebook not long ago, and he just, you remember when I ate the garlic? Oh, buddy, we remember. Mom talks about it too, just occasionally.
Dude, the amount of sulfur that man ingested in those 2 spoons alone. That's a lot of garlic, bro.
Dude, I can't.
That's so much garlic.
Like, if anybody's ever eaten like some garlicky foods, this is nothing compared to what. That would be nothing compared to what this was. Like, the smell was unbearable, dude. It took the whole store out from one jar.
It's garlic. It's garlic cut up. There's nothing stopping the smell from just seeping out of the jar.
It's terrible. Terrible. So anyway, there it is. That's the dumbest dare I've seen.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is episode 100 in the books. Hit the like button if you're watching this on YouTube Live right now or otherwise. Just hit the like button.
Hit it. Smash it.
Hey, you on Spotify. I see you. Stop on by YouTube. Just hit the like button. You don't have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Hit the like button.
And in the comments, say I'm coming from Spotify.
iTunes, hit us up. That 5-star rating. If you like it, hit us up with a 5-star. And then let us know if you do in the comments so I can thank you for it.
Hit us up with a 5-star.
Sure. Why not? Head on over to patreon.com/LikeTV. You can join the community there and support us if you want financially, where you can get some access to some perks that you'll be able to see there as well, StarCraft and podcast related. We will be back next week for 101 Dalmatians.
101, just like When Cheese Fails 101. Remember
That's
that?
right.
That's where it all began.
That's where it all began.
It changed our lives.
Exactly. Maybe episode 101 is going to change our lives for this podcast.
Probably
Let's do it. Probably not, but a man can dream. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the next 100. Peace.